Well. The Toronto Raptors do some incredible shit in summer league. That was awesome. That was a really good game. And wire to wire, for the most part, that was awesome to watch. Nate Biddle balled out. Alan Graves showed all sorts of incredible potential. And we had a couple questions coming into summer league about one Alan Graves, the 19th overall pick for the Toronto Raptors. Number one, could he slide his feet on the defensive end when matched up against perimeter players? Because he did a little bit of that at Santa Clara, and that made him a very exciting defensive prospect, including obviously his steal rates and block rates. Those things were going to translate. The rebounding was going to translate. The basketball IQ was going to translate. But would the lateral quickness translate when you were going up against grown men and NBA athletes? So far, I have to say it has translated pretty well. In certain situations, when he has been matched up against a quicker guard, he has been able to contain the basketball about as reasonably as a 6'9" rookie would be expected to contain the basketball. Now, let's talk about the other side. What was the other big question about Alan Graves? Will he be able to get that shot off? I can't remember the last time Alan Graves missed a three-pointer in the fourth quarter, and if he's ever missed a three-pointer in the fourth quarter, it would be a travesty. Please let me know if he's missed a single three in the fourth quarter, because I can't seem to think when is the last time I saw Alan Graves miss a clutch three or a fourth quarter three. It seems like every single time he takes one, it's wide open and it's in. And he's making them from the corners. He's making them from the top. He's made them from everywhere in the summer league. The third thing I think that a lot of people were wondering about Alan Graves coming into summer league is, hey, I know you had a 13.4 box plus minus in Santa Clara, but is that going to translate to the NBA level? Are you going to be able to do anything close to that at the NBA level? And I have to tell you, as it pertains to his analytics profile, it has actually held up about as well as you could ever imagine. I don't have the exact numbers after this game, but I can tell you going into this game, he has posted better analytics through his now 5 summer league games than Scotty Barnes did in 2021, than Colin Murray Boyles did last year. He's been just about as impressive as any rookie in Raptors history as it pertains to just summer league production, raw production, and analytics. It's insane. I think there was one more question about Alan Graves, though. Like one big question about Alan Graves. Is there more? Is there more to his game than catch and shoot and is he going to be able to? Is there is there some dribble creation? Is there some self creation? And over the last 3 games, he has shown a lot of that too. We're going to take a look at a lot of film from Alan Graves today. I mean, shout outs to the Toronto Raptors. They win this game by 9 points. They do get eliminated from the playoffs on a 5 point differential. That kind of sucks because it seemed like towards the end of the game, the Raptors did not know that they were about to get eliminated. They didn't know that they had a 5 point differential. They just stopped playing. That sucks. Jaden Bradley continues to suffocate possessions and look like he looks like the point guard position is alien to his entire identity. He does not know how to play the position. There's too much evidence at this point that he doesn't have a feel for that position. So, congratulations. You have drafted another non point guard who's south of 6'3". Welcome. Great. Great. Elijah Martin, Jaden Bradley, shout outs, man. You got another one. Emmanuel Quickly, there's another one. You know, 6'3" and under shooting guards. This is the Raptors specialty right now. 6'8" and under power forwards and 6'3" and under shooting guards. This is just like the Raptors are just collecting these guys. But there's nothing negative about this. Nate Biddle has looked awesome. So if you want to, reconcile this in your own mind and maybe feel a little bit better about the Jaden Bradley thing, just consider it this way. Almost at this point, I can guarantee that Nate Biddle is going to get one of those two-way spots. Just pretend you picked Nate Biddle 50th and pretend Jaden Bradley was your undrafted guy. There you go. Now you immediately feel better. Shout outs to ESPNNeedsIKD for saying that, because honestly, that's exactly how I feel. I like Nate Biddle a lot. I think he's looked amazing. And there was something that the commentator said today that really just tickled my brain. He said, you can't double anybody on the Toronto Raptors. They have too many shooters. When the hell is the last time somebody said the Raptors have too many shooters in any context? Summer league, preseason, regular season, playoffs. I can't remember the last time someone said that about the Toronto Raptors. That's pretty cool that anyone is saying that. third string worthy. Nate Biddle might be first string worthy, man. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. And you know what? Seth Lundy has looked really nice too. Shout outs to our members. You know that, on our members live, we did a members live where we talked about every single player in depth for summer league. I don't know if you're a member. You can give me a W in the chat. You know what I'm talking about. And we broke down a little bit of tape for all of them. And when we went through Seth Lundy, I was like, okay, there's like a real chance here. Like this is a pretty damn good player, and he has a shot. He has a shot. There were a few guys who had a shot. He was one of them. He's looked good. Daryl saying W. Thank you very much. ESPNNeedsIKD saying yes, sir. So I think Seth Lundy has impressed. John Hamilton saying W. So see, we're not lying. We're not lying. We were pretty high on Seth Lundy going into the summer league, and I am happy that this community knew about who these players were. Man, it was cool. Okay, let's look at the box score real quick, and then we will get to a little bit of film because there's some really cool, exciting Alan Graves film and some not so exciting, Jaden Bradley film. But let's talk about this. Also, if I'm a little bit laggy, please, let me know. I think I've been going through some issues with my computer. Either this computer has finally officially hit the I'm too old to function status, because it is a 13-year-old computer. It is a really good computer, but it is a 13-year-old computer nonetheless. I think I need a new computer. I think I desperately need a new computer at this point. It might be a software thing, but I've noticed I've been lagging a little bit. I've got frozen a couple times. This might be a StreamYard issue, but I have a feeling it's either a Chrome issue or a hardware issue with like an update. I mean, they did tell me at some point your computer will just be too old for updates. B Mac Fisher saying, yeah, Rob. What's up? Brian, what do you think of Alan Graves, man? What do you think of Alan Graves right now? Let me know. Because this shit is like, Chrome on a Mac slows down the OS. What's good, my boy? Yo, what's good with you? Everyone say cheers, be back. Okay, let's talk about this real quick, and we will get to the Alan Graves of it all, man. I'm telling you, man, there's some intense basketball IQ here. I don't know. Raptors detox. Yo, haven't we all this Kawhi Leonard thing feels like it's kind of like it feels very anticlimactic. We have one of the best players in the world on our team, but we can't finalize the deal until the NBA does their shit. But all right, let's talk about it, and then we'll get into the Alan Graves film. Very, very brief box score overview. 39 points combined from your front court, Alan Graves and Nate Biddle. Namari Burnett continues to be a perfectly good connective piece, winning his minutes, winning the analytics, and not doing anything crazy, not forcing stupid shots. Took 5 threes, made 2 of them, 40%. That's a W. Seth Lundy, another good game. Very different from the first game where I felt like, a lot of people were questioning his shot selection in the first game. I don't think you could point to 2 bad shots that Seth Lundy took, and he took 11 shots tonight and got 19 points. And W Seth Lundy for 6 assists. He hasn't gotten 6 assists yet in Summer League. Jaden Bradley with 4 points, 4 turnovers, 6 assists, and in a game that his team won by 9, he was a -4. I promise you, this is not me reading the box score. This is me reading the game. He sucked. He was horrible. Off the bench, Jamarian Sharp, a poster, some blocks, some ooh-ah-ahs. But honestly, I have to tell you at this point, I'm at a point now where I just don't think that Jamarian Sharp can play in the NBA. There's a lot of reasons for this. He's very raw. He does not know how to play basketball. And apart from pick and dive and posting up, he is functionally useless on the offensive end. Defensively, a lot of effort, a lot of motor. I like his motor. I like his effort. I like the dunks. I like the blocks. But you got to do a hell of a lot more than that and be 6'7", and function on an NBA court. Speaking of guys who can function on an NBA court, Nate Biddle can function on an NBA court. 3 for 4 from 3, 7 rebounds, 3 assists, 3 blocks. I love Nate Biddle's performance tonight. Off the bench, a so-so game from Tyreek Key. Finally got some Jalen Celestine minutes. Shout outs to Ajax native. Tyson Degenhart finally made a shot, including, a baseline drive off 2 feet. Good for him. Other than that, AJ Hoggard, I mean, the only positive about AJ Hoggard was he wasn't Jaden Bradley tonight. For the Miami Heat, let's see what Vlad Golden and this team did. Vlad Golden had 8 points, Trey White with 19, and Jameer Young with 30. He was on a heater. He got going. I think the Raptors did a pretty good job of contesting most of his looks, but he took 13 threes and made 5 of them, had 12 rebounds as well. Pretty standout performance from him. Let's take a look at some of the tape tonight because I think you're going to be, if you don't watch this game, prepare yourself for a little bit of um prepare yourself to be pretty impressed with some of the stuff. Okay, Seth Lundy. Let's start with Seth Lundy here. First of all, Alan Graves receives the ball from Jaden Bradley. Little dribble handoff here. I like it. You know, I like it. He's going to be able to do this a lot with Emmanuel quickly. Nothing special, nothing crazy there. Move forward, another Jaden Bradley possession. This time, Seth Lundy comes up, defense overplays, beats his man off the dribble, and I like that he finishes right through and over, well, under, but through the contact and over the center. There's a lot of guards or wings who would stop short in that situation, opt for the floater. I know Darko preaches finishing all the way through. And here we have another connective pass here. I'm not sure about the bounce pass, but whatever. And another Seth Lundy 3. So there's a little bit of Seth Lundy for you. Let's talk about, a little bit of shooting from the front court. Never hurt anybody. The Raptors don't get a lot of shooting from their front court. CMB was virtually a non-shooter last year. Obviously, Jakob Poeltl doesn't take threes. We got Jonathan Mopo last year. He don't take a lot of threes. Trace Jackson Davis doesn't take threes. So the Raptors really haven't had shooting at that center power forward position a lot, unless Scotty's playing at the power forward. And here you're going to see Alan Graves trailing the play, almost identical to a three he hit, I think, last game. So there's 1 3 right there. And then here's another one. This one from Nate Biddle. First, let's take that screen from Maury Burnett. A little bit of defensive opening. Defender sags off. 8 seconds on the clock. Nate Biddle is not shy, dude. He is not shy. 8 seconds on the clock. He's pulling from 30 feet. He does not care. This man does not give a shit. And I like that. The ability to make threes is one part of the equation. The ability to take them at a high enough rate is another. Now I'm gonna quiet this down just so I can talk over it. But this is maybe the one good thing about CMB not playing is that you got to see a lot of Alan Graves on the ball. And I got to tell you, to my eye, it looked pretty good. Here, we have him playing a little bit of a point forward role. And I really like this pass. First of all, great role here by Damari Burnett. He goes up, doesn't quite make it. Nate Biddle with the putback doesn't take anything away from Alan Graves. This one might be a little bit more special here. So here he's gonna receive a little bit more attention here. Now I'm not really sure what the fuck the Miami Heat are doing guarding him this high, but hey, power to you. Nate Biddle sets the screen. They send 2 to the basketball here to try and trap the ball handler. Biddle continues to roll. Graves sees right over the defense, and he's able to patiently wait for the clearance, and boom, gets Biddle open. Dude, I wish Jaden Bradley would do this once. The problem is at 6'3", he doesn't see the window to do this. So I got to tell you, the ability right now, we were going to see a lot more CMB on the ball, which is going to be pretty cool. If we are able to have Colin Murray-Boyles, Kawhi Leonard, Alan Graves, RJ Barrett, you see the potential to be able to start the play anywhere. And now you can function with a little bit more Scotty off the ball, right? I think this could be very dangerous. Very dangerous. So this is Sparkling Harmony saying that's Scotty-esque. That is absolutely Scotty-esque. I think Scotty Barnes was probably, watching this saying like, shit, finally, somebody gets it. Okay, let's take a look. Alan Graves, a little bit of coast-to-coast action. Don't tell me he's not athletic. Come on, man. Get that defensive rebound and immediately head up, look up, love it. Tell me, can you tell the man played a little bit of point guard in his life? Right? Can you tell the man played a little bit of point guard in his life? Because he takes exactly what the defense gives him, takes it, draws a foul. Perfecto. Played to perfection. Now, let's turn Coolio off and let's turn I'm going to slow this down major. This is a little bit of ball handling for you here. Okay. Now, there's nothing hot sauce about this, but this is a wing. This is a wing. He exposes the ball way too much there, but that's okay. We're just grinding. Dude, this is wing like behavior. I'm not saying it's tight like Luca or Kawhi, but apt the courage to try this move, the willingness to do this at this level. Oh yeah, at the NBA level, try this move, you're gonna get stripped, guaranteed. You expose the ball way too much. The ball is like, but there's a handle here. There's creativity here. There's a feel to this. And even though it almost always devolves into this like pseudo post up possession, I don't care. Like, this is good process. This is him reading a mismatch and saying, I can bully your ass to the rim. That's scoring aggression as well. And here, this is just connectivity here. Tyreek Key, little fake defender, tries to cheat the passing lane, and wide open Allen Graves. Again, this is like a really good 3-point shooter, man. He has hit him at a ridiculous rate. Let's take a look at a little bit of defense. My pre-draft comparison for Allen Graves, and especially my post-draft comparison, has been a 6'9" Fred VanVleet. Okay. Now that is a pretty bold comparison because a 6'9" Fred VanVleet is basically an all-star, but maybe a poor man 6'9" Fred VanVleet. But this is some Fred VanVleet shit right here. Play the angles, play the position, use your hands, use your body, chest up, bump, use your strength, and then contest the last second and force the miss. It's just finding angles, man. That's great defense. That's great defense. It's just absolutely bonkers to me that people just continue to sleep on this guy's athleticism. Okay, let's go, man. Okay, Vlad Golden, backing off, right? Little bit of, okay, if you're going to back off and give me this much room, well, good luck. That's semi-contested. It's not like he's not dropping on him. I mean, he's just refusing to get too close to him because he knows he's going to blow past him. So there's a little bit of respect being given here. But this is very Al Horford, Karl Anthony Towns level type of shit right now in terms of like his jump shot. I'm not saying his jump shot is Karl Anthony Towns. I'm saying like this is how teams will guard Cat. You refuse to get too close into him, right? John Hamilton said Chief Seats thought Santa Clara competition was too low to consider Graves as anything special. Look, I have a lot of respect for dissenting opinions, and I myself did not have Allen Graves as a top 20 grade for the Raptors. On my own board, he was 18, 19, hovered as high as 12 throughout the year. But I got to be honest, like the athletic testings freaked me out. I'm glad the Raptors are smarter than me because if I was the Raptors, I'm probably picking who the fuck am I picking there? Phylon? Phylon? No, I'll probably pick Quaintance, actually. I would have picked Quaintance in that position, and I would have been wrong. I mean, look, I understand Jaden Quaintance. There's a lot of concerns with Jaden Quaintance as well. Don't pretend like you're getting Ben Wallace out of the box. Like there's a lot of issues with Jaden Quaintance as well. There's a lot of issues with Jaden Bradley as well. Let's end on something negative here. Just to keep the vibes here. Jesus. Okay. Now, there's so many, like, I could pretty much do like one of those classic Fred VanVleet does not process the court tapes with Jaden Bradley, but let's keep it simple to one. Okay. Right here. Take this screen. Don't even wait for it. There's barely any contact. Here, you drive right into the defender. You don't create separation. Your court is not organized. You're not even thinking about passing to Jamarian Sharp. You're just kind of thinking about getting to your own spot, and the defender is just able to cheat and take this away. It's just really sad. Nice one said Sheep was right on Carr though. He's a baller. I think Cameron Carr is really good, but I mean, like you got to also factor in Allen Graves is almost 2 years younger than than Cam Carr, and he's bigger than him, and he's got way better processing than him. and the analytics are way higher on him. Even summer league analytics are way higher on him. So again, like you can put up a lot of threes and you can be athletic and get up and down the court and score 25 points every now and again. But I'm sorry, I refuse to see Cameron Carr as a better prospect than Alan Graves. Alan Graves is a to me, like right now, after watching as much tape on him as I have, I've watched every single game that Alan Graves has played now. Because as y'all recall, I did did you know, if you haven't already, please go and watch the interview I did with his associate head coach from Santa Clara. I think that was very illuminating and it kind of tells a story of who Alan Graves is as a basketball player. And I think if you listen to that and you view it as gospel and you view the man as telling the truth, I think everything that Alan Graves has done as summer league has been very, very much like expected, right? Like you were expecting him to figure things out. You were expecting him to. I mean, I think like the thing with Alan Graves is I was expecting him to maybe struggle initially, but then get better through game five. Like he just came out the box and was great in game one. And he's had two types of games in summer league: loud and amazing, and quiet and underrated. Like he's had two types of games. There have been no bad games from Alan Gray so far. There's not one like, oh, six turnovers, 2 for 12, two rebounds, no stocks. Like there's no bad games from Alan Grace. This was straight flush. Like this is all good games with a couple of great games, right? Yeah, Vsar was not available to us. AG saying Summer League is where flashy young players thrive. Absolutely. Like when you consider the context in which an Alan Graves or a player like Alan Graves or Jamal Shed or Scotty Barnes, like basically any high IQ connector should thrive. It's not Summer League. This is not his game. Alan Graves is not supposed to do well in summer league. He's supposed to do okay. He's not supposed to look exposed, but he's not supposed to thrive in summer league. The fact that he has pretty much maintained his exact production from college, almost his exact analytics from college. Like we're still talking about a guy who's veering in and around 10 box plus minus after this game. What the fuck are we talking about here? This is a 19-year-old who is processing the game and is probably smarter than any player on the court that he's played against the entire summer league. And I don't even think that's gassing it. He looks ahead of the play every single time. Now, does he have some moments where he goes to the basket and he finishes under and he just misses because he isn't athletic or explosive enough? Sure. But if he was explosive enough, you're not getting him past the fourth pick in this draft because he's going above Cam Boozer. So, like, what are we complaining about here? He looks like he's in better shape. First of all, let's start there. He's in better shape than he was in Santa Clara. I think that's going to help him with mobility. As he gets stronger, I think some of the mobility concerns are going to go away anyways. He reads angles, and specifically, I think he uses his body very well. So if this is a guy who's just going to find angles, chisel space, I think there are far less athletic players who've been very successful at the NBA level, like guys like Joe Ingles, guys like George Niang, guys like Kyle Anderson, Jorge Garbajosa. There's a lot of guys, Al Horford. There are a lot of guys who are way less athletic than him that have been very successful. So yeah, he did get bodied the last game though. I agree. So he had a so-so defensive game last game. I think there were some inconsistent moments, but he didn't have a bad game by any means. It was not a bad game at all. Hawks got Zuby and Visar. Yeah, and they also got Kingston Flemings. The Hawks had a brilliant draft. Brilliant draft. And tonight, Zuby and Kingston did not play today, and they got mopped. They got destroyed by Memphis. So, early returns would say Alan Graves is a stud. Right now, I'm not sitting here saying he's going to be a star. This is not Scotty Barnes. This probably isn't Colin Murray Boyles. But what's right below a star? The perfect fourth option, the perfect fourth starter. I'm thinking career projections. I'm thinking Derek White, Al Horford, Josh Hart. These are the high end levels. Okay. Now I'm not saying never. I'm not saying never. far be it for me to suggest that I understand the complete upside of a 19-year-old. I'm saying realistic outcomes. Realistically speaking, I don't think Allen Graves is going to be a superstar. But I also don't think Cam Carr is going to be a superstar. So if you're waiting on Cam Carr superstar minutes, like please save your breath and save your time. I don't think he's going to be a superstar either. Someone's saying Devin Vassell. I do think he'll be better than Devin Vassell, and that's a high bar because Devin Vassell is a major rotation player on an NBA champion contender. So better prospect than Jacoby Walter. I think they're comparable. I think they're really comparable with Allen Graves maybe having like more of a defensive floor where I think maybe Jacoby has a slightly greater upside. I mean, Jacoby looking different, dude. Like Jacoby's looking really good. Like you're about to get at least 3 of your young players are about to pop the fuck off next year, and that is Jacoby Walter, Colin Murray Boyles, and Allen Graves. Everything I've heard about these 3 guys this summer has been excellent. Like, the work that they're putting in, the progress they've made on their bodies, they've gotten into better shape. The coaching staff has been deeply invested and, like, involved in everything they're doing. Their training staff is, like, around them all the time. Like, they just look like they've kinda, like, slowed down mentally a little bit. Shout outs to Jacoby, by the way. Like he just dropped his first video. Shout outs to my guy Sam, shot the video. Uh, so yeah, Jacoby's YouTube channel is live. Just search Jacoby Walter Official. It's really cool. Um, yeah. And I mean Nate Biddle, man. That like Nate Biddle has looked really good. What do you want from a center in a Darko situation? You want a guy who can read the floor, set screens, block shots, roll, and hit threes. Like, my God, like this guy looks great. He looks awesome. Like, if he can hold up, injuries notwithstanding, like, I really think this guy probably should be a top 45 picks. So, it's far too soon to be doing redrafts right now. But based on everything I know today, I'm going to tell you right now, if I had to redraft the first round, Allen Graves ain't making it past 14. No, he's not making it past 14. There's no chance in hell. So there's 3 guys, specifically 3 guys in this entire draft that have moved up significantly for me. Not significantly, but like in a meaningful way. One of them is Caleb Wilson. The other is Braden Burries. And the third is Allen Graves. Those 3 players, based on what I've seen in Summer League, that to me is giving me a lot of encouraging vibes. And Nate Biddle. Like, I don't know where I had Nate Biddle. I think I had him like Malik Thomas as well. There's another one. Yeah, Malik Thomas. I think if I refresh, like I'm not even sure where the fuck where my mock draft is, but I'm pretty sure I had Malik like as a first round grade, like late first, like probably 29th. But like if I could just redo that, Yaxel's okay, but I mean, like, he's 24 years old, bro. I'm not rating this shit. Like, I need to see it. Chris Senac, that's another one too. Yeah. I think I had Senac pretty high for most of the year. I think I had him like 15, 16. I moved him down to like, I want to say 22, 23. Was he 23, 24, 25? Something like that. Yeah. Caleb has looked really good shooting the 3. The free throw shooting is still a little bit of a mess, but like the 3-point shooting has looked very promising. And I just like everything that he's talking about, man. Like when he talked about like, and he said this one thing in an interview, Caleb Wilson specifically, he said this one thing which really caught me. He said, people come from all over the world to watch me play. And if I can play and I'm healthy, I'm going to play. And it's just like, dude, I know it sounds really stupid, but sometimes you just like players who like to play. You know what I mean? There's a lot of players who say they like to play. But if you tell them like, do you want a day off? They'll take the day off. But then like, give me the guy who's just like, you know what? Fuck it. I want to play. Right. Keaton Wagler looks awful. I had a top 5 grade on Vogler and I don't regret it. I think he's going to be fine. But yeah, I'm on cautionary watch right now. And I don't think he's looked awful completely. Like he's had a couple games. He's had a couple moments. But again, Keaton is like, he's ways away physically. Right. He's ways away. But yeah, like right now, I'm thinking if I project a 35% 3-point shooter on decent volume for Caleb Wilson going forward, he's going top 3 for me. I was already really high on Hannes Steinbach, but I think right now I would probably have Alan Gray as like the 13th. I think 13th would be fair. And I think Malik will probably creep up. I think Chris Senac probably creeps up to about 20, 19. I think Nate Ament drops even further, which is hard to believe because I think I already had him like 22. I think he might drop even further. And I think Malik Thomas creeps into my top 23, at this point. I think that's where I'm at right now with like redraft talk. Like I think it's just very premature to be talking redraft. And I mean, look, like I mean, y'all remember the draft show. I think you all remember that. Yeah, like I understood the Graves pick almost immediately, but even I have been pleasantly surprised. Like I liked him as a prospect, but I like him even more today. Like after learning more about him, listening to him speak, watching his reaction to getting drafted, seeing all the, talking to his coach, talking to people around him, talking to an ex teammate of his. Like, my God, if my opinion hasn't changed at this point, then I'm stupid, right? Like your opinion should change as you pick up more information. And now I've watched him against G League ish summer league competition for 5 games. Yeah, my opinion, of course, has changed. I've gone from I'm really, like I'm really like A minus ish on this pick to like shit, fuck, this might be A plus. This probably A plus. The Raptors knocked this pick out of the park so far, right? And I mean, honestly, like at this point, like what are my concerns? What are my concerns? He's a 19th overall pick. He's a 6'9" shooter who has great defensive instincts, can switch at least 2 to 3 positions, is getting stronger, is remarkably aware of his strengths and weaknesses, is a good, humble kid, beloved by all of his teammates, all of his coaches, is a person of faith. I really don't have any qualms about this. Like this is a great bet on upside. Baba Miller, my guy. I mean, like I like Baba Miller a lot. I like Baba Miller a lot. And I think the Clippers got a good one there. I think he should have gone like late first round. I'm not gonna go higher than that. Daryl saying, I'm not surprised that Wagler struggles, but I am surprised that Acuff is he the next Scoot? Yeesh. The Kings might have done it again. Well, I mean, Scoot Henderson has turned a corner over the last little bit with the Portland Trailblazers, number one. Number two, I think that it's worth noting that he's getting blitzed, dude. Like, I'm not selling any Darius Acuff stock, but I want to remind you, I've said it all along. He's gonna score a ton of points. He's never gonna win anything in his life. I also want to say, uh, the other day, so like lately, I've been doing this cool thing. Right, I'm gonna answer some super chats in a moment, but let me just fill you in on a couple things I've been doing. So lately, I've been connecting with a lot of YouTubers. Now, y'all saw some of that when we brought basketball business on here and we talked about the cap, the CBA, circumvention, and all that stuff. I hope you guys enjoyed that video. I really enjoyed it. It was one of my favorite videos that I've done. Not from a personal performance standpoint, because I mean, I can do a lot better, but just in terms of like what I was aiming at, I think I'm really happy that I did that video and I hope we do more. Um, couple days ago, no, yesterday, when I say a couple days ago. Oh, by the way, congratulations, Argentina. Congratulations, Argentina. Yo, congratulations, Argentina. I'm so happy. Sorry. I am a very big Leo Messi fan. So like I'm very, very happy. And the tragedy of this is that my meeting with this other YouTuber took place right as the second half opened, and I was just stupidly booked it at that time. And I was like rushing through this meeting, but yeah. Tribal Chief said, "Good to see you on Real Talks channel." Yeah, it was nice to be on Real Talks channel. I'm very glad that we have moved past the nonsense and beef. And I think I'm not gonna take credit for that. I think like Real Talk has been awesome. Like he's been like way like he's just like I think we're all just getting along a lot better on PC, and I think that it's a really good thing. I'm not taking credit for like, oh, I changed, so everyone changed. No, like people have changed too, and I think it's growth on all sides. And I was really happy to go on his show because I listened to him and Mars do that, and they're doing a great job. They're doing a great job talking basketball. So, anyways, yesterday, I had a YouTube meeting with a content creator who's in the YouTube space that we're going to do some work together soon. And this is a scout. He's worked for NBA teams. He's building analytics models. He's like very, very good. and his channel has gone from like 8,000 subs to like 25, 26,000 subs just over the last few months because he's been making like great content. So we're talking it up, and like we're exchanging some ideas, and I was just like, oh my god, this is really amazing. This is what I want to do. I want to connect with other people in this space who see this game in interesting ways and then bring that to this community. I think that can be my greatest service to this community. And if you are not being of service, then what are you being? Right? So like let's continue to do that. So I can't wait to do more content with him. Um there was another content creator. So hang on one second. I'm gonna pull this up. 1 second. Give me 1 sec. Okay. So I want to give a shout out real quick to a content creator named Seth Curl. Wait 1 sec. So today I watched the video and I was stunned. Dude, I was stunned. After I watched this video, I had to sit there for 4 minutes with my jaw dropped on the floor and just like kind of just process it all. Can you give me a W? Actually, don't give me a W. Give me an M in the chat if you are a minimalist or you are aspiring to declutter your home in some meaningful way. Or give me an M if you just look around your house sometimes and just get overwhelmed by the amount of shit you have and wish that you had less. Can you give me an M in the chat if that's you? Because that's definitely me right now. I wanna show you this. Hang on. Okay, I don't know if that music's gonna get copyrighted. This is Seth Curl. Okay. He has made a YouTube video called Minimalism. It's like a short movie. Okay. Tetrahedron saying, I'm trying to reclutter my home. That's funny. Uh, M, M, good stuff. Okay. So if you go on YouTube, I'll actually pull up the video for you. If you go on YouTube, I promise you this video is not a waste of your time. It is a really, and the cool thing is right after I watched this video, I reached out to him like 5 minutes later. So I sat there in silence and then I reached out to him right away and I was like, dude, like this is awesome. Like your video just it hit me in the right right at the right time. It was just like the perfect video. I needed to see this. Let me show you the video. Hang on 1 second. It's right here. This is the video. It's called Minimalism, the Art of Minimalism. It was posted 8 months ago, has 100,000 views. It's one of the best videos I've seen. Check this out.
Minimalism, a lifestyle that emphasizes owning and using only what is essential.
He's done a great job. That's all I can say. He's done a great job. This is an amazing video. Definitely go check it out. Let him know Pensare Basketball sent you. Let him know that. I thought it was great. But you know what kind of just got me? I was just like, we live in a world that's so connected that I can watch a video from somebody in a random state in America. It could be super cool. And I can connect with that person in 5 seconds. How crazy is that? Like, there's no fan mail here. And the cool thing is people can do that with me too. And people do. Like people write me messages all the time on Instagram. Like, oh, I watched this video, changed my life, changed my view, it taught me a lot. That's so cool. I like that. That's very cool. So I think this space, getting more connected is really cool. And like integrating communities is very cool. So I look forward to doing more collaborations with people. There's now an entire playlist on this channel, which is just devoted to collaborations. So you can see my interview with Nav Bhatia, Superman, a super fan. I just call him Superman. You can see the Chuck Swirsky interview. You can see all my collaborations with Mike Roach, with Sheep Seats, with Airson, with Basketball Business, and we're just gonna do more. Like that's what I want to do. I want to do like 10 of those this year. I want to reach out to 10, 12, 15 other YouTubers that I really like, that I like their work, and just bring them on. I think that's gonna be my goal. It's gonna be like a bucket list for me this year. It's like find 15 people in the basketball world that I love, respect, scouts, whoever, scouts, analysts, data people, business people, like just figure it out and just bring them on this channel. Some of the collabs are gas for sure. Sharp looked good tonight, but I think he's going to struggle against strong guys in the NBA. Deserves a training camp invite, though. Yeah. Is the Kawhi trade going to go through? That's all I care about. We're here in August now, dude. We're hearing that this might drag on till August. I was going to make a live about what Adam Silver said, but I just didn't think. I was just like, what's the point? What's the point? What has changed? Right? There's so much lying going on right now about like what really is happening. So like everyone is pointing the finger at the other team. The Clippers are saying the Raptors are stalling it. The league is saying both teams are stalling it, or that the Raptors are stalling it. The Raptors are saying the league is stalling it. So it's like somebody is obviously lying here. From what I understand, it all has to do with the specificity of the letter of the law and the terminology of the final sheet that the league attached to the trade. Okay. So someone said I recommend having more than one pair of underwear. I mean, sure, but that's not minimalism necessarily. Minimalism is living with exactly what you need and nothing more. And I think that's beautiful. So I think it's just a little bit strange because, like, again, the terminology can freak you out. I'll say this: I'm I'm not a lawyer, but there was a long time in my life that I wanted to be a lawyer, and even after I decided not to be a lawyer, the craziest thing is I had a lot of friends who went into law, and I would just take their textbooks off of them. And so there was this one time about like 7, 8 years ago before I decluttered that my entire bookshelf behind me was just full of like law books, all law books. I was obsessed. It was like a personal fixation of mine to figure out tort law, corporate law, financial, like everything that I could. And I really wanted to understand contracts. And so sometimes I see the wording on contracts and I'm like, uh-oh, this is very defensive. And it makes me very cautious. And I've seen this with films, right? Like sometimes there are these very novice producers and they'll bring me on as a DOP, right? And I'll read the contract because I always read shit before I sign. I'm one of those terms and agreements people. Like I will read every word before I agree to sign. And I'll be reading this contract and I'll be like, hmm, oh, that's interesting because now they have 45 outs in this contract and I have one, right? And personally, when I write out a contract, I'm very much assuming the other person's going to read it. When a lot of people write contracts, they assume that I'm not going to read it. Now, when an NBA team is doing a trade, obviously everybody reads the contract. Everybody reads every single word. Every team has lawyers that go over, dissect every word, every sentence. This is not like you signing a tenant agreement that's 18 pages long and you just sign the last page because you're a lazy idiot. Okay. This is straight up like the NBA has added some very different language to this trade that has spooked the Raptors away from taking the risk. Maybe it has changed the scope of risk. It's possible, right? AG said, I use AI for that shit now. I'm not judging, but personally, I don't trust AI that much to be able to do that. Plus, I also don't want to lose my own ability to critically think for myself. I think that's a really important part of AI. Like, I think using AI to point you to like, okay, so for instance, like we're doing stock research. Like, so today, a good example actually. So today, Netflix reported their earnings after close at 4 o'clock, market close 4 o'clock. The stock is already beaten down significantly. It's already trading at like 24 times earnings, and it tanked another 6%, 8% in after hours. And so the company reports earnings. I'm not going to ask AI to summarize the earnings. So what I did was I sat there, I read the entire earnings report, and then I sat there and I watched a 40-minute interview with the co-CEOs answering questions from analysts. Now, granted, I did watch it on 1.25 speed because ain't no one got 40 minutes for that shit, but I took notes and I feel like I'm in a good place with my position in Netflix. Now, this is not I spent an hour and a half doing this, right? I spent an hour and a half doing this, and very easily I could have just gone to Chatty, or Claude at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and just said summarize the earnings report, and it would have given me probably a one paragraph summary of what happened. And if I'm a complete moron, maybe I can ask it to specify what stock buybacks mean, and maybe I can ask it for comparable stocks that are trading at a similar PE ratio, or maybe I can ask it for, random things like, hey, when Netflix goes down, who benefits? These questions, these queries are probably asked to AI a lot. But my view on this is like, why rob yourself of the ability to figure this shit out for yourself? So the only thing that I would do is, if I was completely new to an industry, like artificial intelligence, for instance, I would maybe ask AI to compile a list of 15 stocks that I should consider in the semiconductor space that it views as underrated or undervalued. Okay, that's great. Now give me 15 stocks. I write down the 15 stocks, and then I spend 40 minutes each going through each stock one by one. I don't think this robs me of anything. So my view is, I'm not asking AI to do anything that I wouldn't ask a secretary to do. Am I asking the secretary to read my contracts? No, I'm reading my own fucking contracts. Would I ask a secretary to give me coffee? Yes, I would. And if AI was able to give me coffee, I would ask AI to give me coffee. But right now, AI does not give me coffee until I don't know, until I hit the lottery and I get a fucking robot that can make me coffee. I mean, shit. Uh, Time is an asset. Why waste it when AI can save me that time? Time is an asset. Absolutely. I think my perspective on this, I'm not trying to change your mind, by the way, just so we're clear on that. I'm not trying to change your mind. My view on this is, I'm not going to allow somebody else to do thinking for me. The thinking part is not a time waste. I view thinking as critical exercise for my brain. This would be like asking AI to do a jog for me. Do you know what I mean? Like like your brain, like, for instance, most of us don't do calculations in our head, right? So if I ask you 12 times 12 off the top of your head, a lot of people don't know. But in grade 6, you probably knew. 8 times 8 is what? Some people struggle with that. I mean, just the other day, the Raptors did a little skill challenge. Did y'all catch that, by the way? Did y'all catch that little teaser that the Raptors players were put through? Did you guys catch that? They said, "Okay, how about this? I'll ask you guys the question. If you have 2 chickens, 4 horses, if you have 2 chickens, 4 horses, and 3 pigs, how many legs do you have?" Anyone know? Anyone wanna do the math on this? So 2 chickens, 4 horses, 3 pigs. How many legs do you have? Anybody? Yeah. So, interestingly enough, a lot of people got this wrong. Someone said 32. Alan Poon. Are you are you my friend, Alan Poon? Okay, answer this question, Alan Poon. Are you a pianist? Dude, first of all, I have no idea how common the name Poon is, but I have a friend named Alan Poon, or I did have a friend named Alan Poon a long time ago. And if you are that person, that is such a small world. Okay. Said nope. Damn it. Okay. Um, One of my best friends, her friend that I met through her, came to my party. His name was Alan Poon. He is a really gifted pianist. He's a really, really cool pianist. He went to U of T. So I thought you might be the same Alan Poon, man. That would be cool. Someone said 2. Ashley said 0. Well, that's creative. She will said 2. That is correct. 28. Yeah, I don't know how people got to 32. I changed the question a little bit. But anyways, I think that is a good critical thinking question, or just like a specifically, like, it's a little bit of a University of Tears. Okay. So University of Toronto is University of Tears, is it? Well, I cried once. It was a very hard breakup, but other than that, I don't remember crying too much. If you own the animals, aren't they your legs as well? First of all, nobody owns animals. We keep animals, and they allow us to do so. Um, yeah, but that is an interesting way to think about that as well. Yeah. Um, in terms of big summer league takeaways, honestly, the guys that I've been high on pretty much the entire way through remain the guys that I'm high on. Okay. I've been high on Namari Burnett. I think he deserves a camp invite. Nate Biddle deserves a two-way for me. I think I think Seth Lundy should have a chance to usurp Jaden Bradley for that final two-way. I mean, at this point, if we're being honest, if I had to prioritize every single player I saw, Alan Graves, number one, by far, no one close to him. Okay. Number two, for me, is Nate Biddle. I'm talking about just the guys that I saw. So this is no offense to Chucky Hepburn. This is no offense to Jaden Bradley. No offense to Jamarian Sharp. No offense to Seth Lundy. Nate Biddle is my number two guy in Summer League. My number three guy is probably Seth Lundy or Namari Burnett. So those are four guys right there. Before I even talk about Chucky Hepburn, Jaden Bradley, I haven't seen Elijah Martin or CMB in Summer League, so obviously we'll just leave those two guys out because they didn't play. But I mean, at this point, I'm probably thinking like I'd rather walk into training camp with Seth Lundy than Chucky Hepburn. I don't know. Like Chucky's all right. Like he's cool. But I think I saw more from Seth Lundy. Granted, like it's not like Chucky's super young either, dude. He's like almost 24 years old. He's not like he's crazy young. He's 23. So, I mean, at this point, like we're talking about two-way spots, but I mean, I don't know. These are useful roster spots. Seth Lundy could probably come off the bench and probably score 10 points in a quarter for you one night. You know what I mean? When one night where no one has it going and you're injury depleted, he can come off the bench and give you some gunning. And I mean, like at 6'6" with a 6'10" wingspan, and he has like clearly developed his game a little bit. I really like the six assists today. I like some of his defensive possessions have been cool, like in the last game, getting the game-winning block. Like Seth Lundy has for sure shown me more than Chucky Hepburn or Jaden Bradley. Easily. Easily. And also, by the way, for all the glaze that people throw towards Elijah Martin last year in Summer League, Seth Lundy was better in his Summer League season with the College Park Skyhawks. So at this point, as much as I'm not really the biggest fan of like score first, second, third guards, like I feel like he's shown me enough commitment on the defensive end and as a connector for me to believe that he could potentially do more. So yeah, if I'm ranking this out, main roster is set. Let's assume Kawhi trade goes through because I'm saying 95% right now. It still will. 5% falls apart. Something crazy happens. But let's just assume 90%, 95% it goes through. Cool. So your roster is set at about 13 guys. You have two roster spots right now, right? Yeah, you're two roster spots. Kyle Anderson. Okay. So you got two roster spots. I'm thinking for that final roster spot, I'm going to leave it open, actually. I'm going to leave that final roster spot open. I'm probably going to assign somebody. Would I just take a swing on Nate Biddle? Would I just take that swing right now? Just say, fuck it. Just sign him to like a 3-year minimum deal, just like Jonathan Mobo had, and just say, fuck it, man. We saw enough. If you can stay healthy, you can play for us. Yeah, I might do that. And then my two ways would be Seth Lundy, Namari Burnett, Jaden Bradley, or Chucky Hepburn. I don't know. I'd have him flip a coin for it, actually. At this point, I would probably have him flip a coin for it. I'm not really sure which one of those two guys. Let's get to some super chats here. We got one blank super chat from Talented 10th. Appreciate you. Thoughts on Kaman Maluach so far? My thoughts on Kaman are that he's still a little bit slow to process the game, but he's still very talented. I do like how he shot the three, but he's always had a good shooting touch, right? Going back to like, when he played with South Sudan, like he was able to hit a three over Joel Embiid, and that's when you knew he had it, right? I like his tenacity, blocking shots. He still feels like the game's a little too fast for him, even at the summer league level. Ashley saying, "How is Jonathan Mobo doing on the Kings?" He's doing fine. He's been fine. Nothing amazing. Not like he's averaging 15 points per game or anything like that. But he's been productive. He's been really productive. Um, I think it's just like he gets a little bit timid when he gets around the basket. I wish Jonathan Mobo had a slightly different processing feel when it came to like finishing plays because I feel like it's weird to say that I think Alan Graves is ahead of him, but he is. And it's interesting because I'm a very big Jonathan Mobo fan, as you all know. Like I love Jonathan Mobo. But in terms of offensive processing and feel and like the mental stability of like consistent focus and just knowing how to find angles and space, yeah, like I think, yeah, in terms of athletic tools and defensive upside and all that stuff, like yeah, I'll give it to Mobo, but um, even like twitch, athleticism, vertical pop, give it to Mobo. Perimeter defense, I'll give it to Mobo. Like he's not a bad prospect. The Kings are not stupid for taking a chance on him, and the Raptors were not really stupid for taking a chance on him. Obviously, in hindsight, you look dumb because AJ Mitchell went 8 picks later, and so like 7 picks later, you look really stupid for that. But I think if anyone had known what AJ Mitchell was going to be, he would have been a lottery pick. So you can't cry over spilled milk too much. I think where I draw the line is people like really crying about Kyle Filipowski. Like, yeah, Filipowski's okay. He's okay. What do you think of Oladipo coming back? I like Victor Oladipo. I've always liked Victor Oladipo. I'm rooting for the guy, man. Um, but yeah, I haven't seen anything so far from Jaden Bradley that makes me think he has much of a chance as an NBA player. Like there wasn't even that one game. Like he had one game where he wasn't terrible, and every other game he was pretty much awful. The first 2 games, I remember making a lot of excuses for him, like, "Oh man, he's playing with the Tyson Degenharts of the world." But at this point, like, it's just like, "Oh, actually, no, it's not that you're playing with Tyson Degenhart. It's just like legitimately you just like really suck at processing the court at all." And I think maybe the Raptors knew that he wasn't a point guard. Like Braden Burries handled the ball a lot at Arizona, just an FYI. And that's translated to Summer League. Burries has been one of the best rookies in Summer League, period. Um, yeah. Depot isn't coming back. ACL, PCL, MCL, his entire knee is cooked beyond measure. Just hang it up. Um, I don't know how to measure the will to come back for a freak athlete, but nobody's asking him to be an all NBA. No one's asking him to justify being a top 3 pick. We're talking about a guy coming off the bench and providing stable veteran presence and a little bit of shooting pop. And, you know, who knows how his body is recovered, but I don't think that I think he was a freakish athlete. And I think freak athletes like Dominique Wilkins, I'm not putting him in the Dominique and Vince Carter camp, but he was just like a very freakish athlete. He's not an NBA player anymore. When's the last time you saw him play? That's the reality. Right. But when is the last time you saw him play? From what I heard, he did pretty well in his private workouts with teams. Again, very doubtful the teams are going to give him a chance. But as a Garrett Temple kind of role, yeah, that's not bad. 2022 in Miami. Okay, so who are you and who am I to say what he would do 4 years later? I mean, a lot of people said, like, with all the injuries and, 3 years off of basketball, that Seth Lundy was cooked. He looks fine. Like, we don't know what guys are able to do in rehab, right? And again, when you're talking about, like, freak athletes, you're talking about outlier outcomes. I'm not saying Victor Oladipo warrants, a 3-year investment. I'm saying on a minimum contract, if he looks fine in workouts, I would give it a try because he's not a stupid player. It's not a one-time injury for him. Yeah, but injuries are not necessarily like chronic, right? Um, what do you make of LeBron James holding up free agency? What I make of it is LeBron James is LeBron James will never be my GOAT. In a million years, I would rather put Kobe as my GOAT. I would rather put Bill Russell as my GOAT. I would dude, I'd rather put Kawhi as my GOAT. I Yeah, he's the number 2 player of all time, but I'm just not a fan. I appreciate what he is. Obviously, my favorite player in the NBA is Scotty Barnes, and he has a lot in common with him. But I think this entire saga is exactly why I've never I don't wanna say never liked him. I did like him for a really long time, like, especially, his first stint with Cleveland, I had a lot more respect for him. But to me, some of the stuff over the years, when we say greatest of all time, there are moments there are moments that encapsulate greatness. Today on the panel, they asked, "Where is the GOAT going? Where's the GOAT going?" You know? Because they were asking about LeBron James. And I heard, "Where's the GOAT going?" And I'm like, "The GOAT is going to New Jersey, bro. The GOAT is going to New Jersey." And people look very confused because, it's been a long time since New Jersey had a basketball team. But I thought they were asking me where Leo Messi was going. So I just figured out, like, okay, well, Spain plays Argentina in East Rutherford, New Jersey. So the GOAT is going to New Jersey. But apparently they were talking about LeBron Ramon James as where is he going. And my view on this is he's probably going to Golden State. But wherever he goes, you know, the political circus and the media circus shall follow. The controversy shall follow. The blame will not follow. It will always be somebody else's fault. It always is. It always is. It's always someone else's fault. There's always an out. It's weird to me. I'm not for it. Personally, to me, Gretzky's a GOAT. Brady's a GOAT. Jordan's a GOAT. I'll go as far as to say Novak Djokovic is a GOAT. And they've proven it. They've proven it time and time. Even when they lose, they've proven it. You know who a GOAT is in their losses as well as their wins. So to me, greatness is not just about win-loss record. It's not just about championships. It's like a complete package in how you carry yourself on and off the court. It's what you do for the game. It's how much you add to the game. It's how much you contribute to the game. It's your off-court stuff. It's your, how you show up in those major moments. It's your contribution to the legacy of the game, your contribution to the growth of the game beyond the current audience of the game. Like Magic and Bird deserve a lot of GOAT votes because of what they did. Um, I think Allen Iverson deserves some GOAT votes for what he did, in terms of bringing street basketball culture to the NBA mainstream. But so does Kobe Bryant for that matter. Um, so yeah, like for me, Michael Jordan is like untouchable in this space. Like you can't even like comparing Michael Jordan and LeBron James feels like comparing Kobe Bryant and Jerry Stackhouse. It's so far. It's so far. It almost seems absurd to even try and compare this. And you can give me every number you want. Oh, this guy averaged, this, and this guy, did this for this many more years. And look at him. He's 41 years old and it's still this. And I'm just like, that's not how I measure greatness. And again, I can acknowledge that LeBron James is the second best player to ever play in the NBA, but he is not the second greatest player to ever play in the NBA. The second greatest player to ever play in the NBA is Bill Russell, for me. The third greatest player to ever play in the NBA is probably Magic Johnson. The fourth greatest player to ever play in the NBA is probably Tim Duncan. And now we can start talking about LeBron James and Larry Bird. Kareem? Shit, what am I talking about? Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Now we can start talking about LeBron James. Like after 5. I didn't say best. He's definitely the second best player in NBA history for me. But greatness is not best. That's different. So I might be pissing off a lot of people who grew up with like LeBron James is great. But dude, like, yeah, this is the list right here. MJ, Brady, Gretzky, Djokovic, Tiger Woods. That's the list. It's an untouchable list. You're not touching this list. Like this list is what it is for a reason. There's an immortalization to greatness. I'm not trying to be Skip Bayless up here. I'm not trying to like hate on LeBron James. I appreciate the fuck out of his game. In fact, I prefer a player who passes to a player who scores. Once again, my favorite player is Scotty Barnes. So, um, Yannick Sinner could touch Djokovic someday. For sure. Yannick is amazing. Yannick is incredible. Serena Williams is another GOAT of her sport. She is absolutely an amazing, absolutely. No, Yannick is amazing. Like he's phenomenal player. However, like respectfully, Djokovic is number one for me. Messi, fuck, was Messi on your little list here? Hold on, where did you throw this? Okay, MJ Grady, MJ Brady, Gretzky, Djokovic, Tiger, Messi, Messi. Have you seen Magnus Carlsen? There's another one. Goat tennis player. Sorry, goat chess player. Bro, you're funny. You're very funny. Yannick Konaniter. No, Yannick Sinner. He's an Italian tennis player who's 24 years old and has been world number one for like 200 plus weeks. He's amazing. Um. Oh, okay. Wayne Gretzky, Alexander Ovechkin. Ovi's amazing too. I'm a big fan of his for sure. Pele in soccer, Pale in soccer. You mean Pele? Um, no offense. Look, prior to prior to for me, again, goats are very personal. Okay. It's based on, your experience and your definition of what creates greatness. Prior to Messi and his era of dominance and greatness and Ronaldo and these guys, like the era prior, my goats in football were Ronaldinho, just because I didn't see Pele play. So I mean, like, no offense, but like I didn't get to watch it. Ronaldinho, Zidane, Del Piero. These were like Andrea Pirlo. Like these were four. Like I know goalkeeper is not going to be the GOAT, but Gigi Buffon as well. So very Italian bias in terms of like my GOAT rankings of football players. But yo, like I'm not from Argentina. Okay. My background is Serbian and partially Italian, partially Croatian. And I just have to give it to Messi. Is the best football player I've ever seen in my life. Is everything that I have, like, anything you could ever want a football player to be other than, 6 feet tall. Messi is that. Like, he's incredible. Like, he's so good. My God, he's so good. He's so far ahead of the play, dude. Like, he sees things that nobody else sees in the moment that he sees them, and his evolution from where he was in 2007, like even positionally, how he plays, where he plays, like this has been such a crazy evolution of a football player. Um, Incredible. And Crosby is a GOAT. I don't know enough about football to tell you if, Crosby is a GOAT, Sidney Crosby. But what I'll say is I did watch Wayne Gretzky and I thought he was untouchable. Untouchable. Um, Precisely for the same reasons that Messi is untouchable. The playmaking is on a completely different level. His, like, that clutch gene, like that ability to come through when the moment is highest and the tension is highest, and that ability to like squeeze a goal through like two defenders when like nobody else can see it. It's just like that's what greatness is. I'm sorry. Greatness is continued dominance. Greatness is not go to the championship round in 2007, get swept, go form a super team, go 2 for 4 in the finals, cry about it, bitch about it. You were like smacked by a super over the hill Spurs team and a totally underdog Mavericks team. Then go back home, go like 1 for 6 or whatever the fuck you do, go win a bubble champion. This is not a GOAT resume. I'm sorry. I know people accuse me of hating LeBron. I hate the way people talk about LeBron. People talk about LeBron like Michael Jordan didn't exist. Like, shut the fuck up. No, my guy. I watched Michael Jordan. I watched LeBron James. And any person who has watched both these people, unless they're an absolute hater or they were like one of those players that just never won a ring on Jordan's watch, would tell you Michael Jordan is so much better than LeBron James. It's not even fucking close. Like, I wish to God, if I could, If I could change one thing about human history, it would be to make these two players play at the exact same time so LeBron could have like no rings, 0 rings. Okay. LeBron played way better competition, man. How old are you? Tell me that, Phoenix Plays Ed. How old are you? I'll be very curious to know the answer. And don't you dare lie. Don't you dare lie. Tell me how old you are. I promise you, I'm not going to pull some bullshit unk shit on you and be like, well, you don't know. I'm curious how old you are for you to say LeBron played way better competition. Go ahead. You're 21. Perfect. Which means that you were born after LeBron James started playing, which means your memories of my generation in the 90s are pretty much based on highlights, unless you are one of those rare 21-year-olds who went back and watched full games. So I implore you to go back and watch full games. I implore you to go and watch the teams that LeBron lost to in the finals and then ask yourself if Michael Jordan would lose to those teams. And the answer is no fucking way would Michael Jordan lose to those teams. Michael Jordan is not losing to the 2011 Mavericks. Be for real now. Like, be for real. Michael Jordan is not losing to the 2014 Hawks. Michael Jordan might have lost to the 2017-2018 Warriors with KD. That's the only one I'll concede, because that team was fucking insanely stacked. And Jordan did not have the three-point shooting power to beat that team. But even still, I feel like he would have had a better chance than LeBron. Michael Jordan went 6-0 in the finals, and you're sitting here telling me that no, stop that bullshit, man. You kids are washed. I'm just going to say this right now. I don't mean to sound super old, but I am 38 and I am approaching my unk era. And I'm going to tell you, you 21-year-olds who talk shit about the 90s, you don't know what you're fucking talking about. I promise you, as someone who watched these games up close and personal, nobody that I knew was more invested in the NBA in 1996, 1997, 1998. I watched every single game I could. I was obsessed with the sport. Okay. Like I would go to school, come home, I would watch NBA. I would watch VHS tapes of, like, my dad had VHS tapes from Yugoslavia, from Lithuanian basketball and all this shit. And then I would watch live games as much as I could on cable TV, NBC, ABC, whatever. What are we talking about? Go watch Michael Jordan destroy human beings. Grown men were afraid to look at him in the eyes. And you're trying to tell me about LeBron James? No. Also, greatness is reverence for the past. Greatness is building on the legacy of the past without having to tear it down. What I'm doing right now is reminding you that Michael Jordan did not need to tear down Magic Johnson and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and Wilt Chamberlain by declaring himself the GOAT. He never did that. And I actually think that's one of the greatest cases for him to be the GOAT. Bill Russell never did that. Yeah. And honestly, I think the NBA got worse with LeBron. There, I'm going to say it. I'm going to say it 100%. I said it during the All-Star game. Victor Wembanyama is going to be the face of the league that LeBron never was, because he's brought competitiveness back. And you know what's interesting? This year's finals were the highest rated since when? Let me know in the chat. Y'all know the stat? The 2026 finals, which is Victor Wembanyama's first finals, were the highest rated finals since when? Go ahead. Let me know. Since when? Since 2007? Nuh-uh. Since 2014? Nuh-uh. This is correct. 1998. You know who was in the finals in 1998? Number 32, Mr. John Stockton, going up against his airness in the final leg of his second three-peat. So Kobe and Shaq never touched those numbers, even though they got a hell of a lot closer than the Tim Duncan, Knicks finals. But the level of compete, like, I have just watched the NBA get worse, like, straight up, honestly. You can say there's more talent, and I'll agree with that. There's more top to bottom talent, but stars are stars. Hakeem would be a star. Ewing, David Robinson, Gary Payton, Grant Hill, Penny Hardaway, Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, all the stars of the 90s would still be stars today. You're completely insane if you don't think the stars of the 90s would hold up today. It's the role players who've gotten a lot better. It's the depth of the teams that's gotten a lot better, but they got better universally. What does that have to do with LeBron, choking away finals? LeBron is not choking away finals because his 10th man is not holding his weight. Okay, first of all. Second of all, I think that the competitiveness of the league, the texture of the league, the rivalries, the authenticity of the rivalries, the overall like almost like a kayfabe, wrestling thing where like LeBron coming to the league almost like made it a job, if that makes sense. Like I have a lot of respect for LeBron. Number one, it's very hard to come in as the chosen one and actually keep your sanity about you and actually make $1 billion. That is what I respect. I respect that he's a good family man, allegedly. Again, Drake allegations aside, good family man, loyal to his friends, stayed a really humble, good guy, all that stuff, right? But the influence on the league has been bad. Super teams, free agency, passive aggressive bullshit through the media, very beta, men sort of creating like weirdo passive aggressive jabs with the media. Like it's just weird. I'm sorry. Like I'm going to say something that's about to get me fucking canceled here. It's just not cool. You know, with Jordan there was an air of like how shall I say untouchableness to an NBA icon. Like there was like a prestige to it. Like it was a blemishless thing. And the closest thing I've seen to that since Michael was Kobe. The closest thing I've seen to that since Kobe is Steph, not LeBron. Kobe, Steph, Michael. That's what I'm talking about. That's like the level of like, there's something to that. Now, this is not to take anything away from LeBron. Again, hell of a talent, really great player, really awesome defender, really incredible offensive player, crazy athlete, great longevity, all that stuff. But when we're talking about greatness, you don't get to lose this many times in the finals and be great. No. Jordan would get absolutely eviscerated in the social media era. Okay, I mean, the great thing about being myself is that I've gotten a lot better at disagreeing without getting too personal. So I'm just gonna keep it, I'm gonna keep it PG and let you know that I don't think you know what you're talking about, and that's okay. That you have a right to your opinion, and that you're 21 years old. And if I was 21 years old, I might think the same thing, but I'm not 21 years old. In fact, I gotta tell you, in 2001, I believe it was 2001, right? My father passed away, and I was a very big Michael Jordan fan. Very big Michael Jordan fan, like insane Michael Jordan fan. And at that point, we'd gone 2 years without seeing Michael Jordan in the NBA. And my dad and I used to watch basketball together. So it was something very personal to me. Watching Michael Jordan play was like there's something like very comforting. There was also, it, I don't know how to explain it to you, but like watching Michael Jordan play on television was not a normal event. Does that make sense? Like it was not a normal event. It wasn't like turning on Seinfeld. Okay. Like there was something to it. It was like going to the opera. Okay. You were witnessing NBA history every single time you turned it on and you knew it right away. I was 10 years old and I knew it. Okay. So what I'm saying is when he retired, there was like kind of like a void of basketball. The league took a huge nosedive after he left. And, as a New York kid, I was very happy to see Allen Houston and Sprewell and all those guys go to the finals and shit. And, watching this new generation of stars come up like Kobe, Vince, Allen Iverson, etc. So there was exciting new talent, but still, like, there was that reverence of like his airness that was missing. And I remember being so down after my dad passed away, like so fucking in the dumps. And I was in Italy at the time, and I opened up the newspaper, and in Italian, it says he's back. Michael Jordan announces that he's coming back to the Wizards to play for a year. This is how immediately I suddenly felt okay again. Immediately. It was like, oh, yes, my dad is dead, but I get to watch Michael Jordan play for another year. That sounds crazy. It's never made sense to me why that made me feel better, but it did. It just did. because I was like, okay, it's not over. I get to watch more of this. Um, Before you were born, why do you okay, Phoenix plays that. I don't mean to I don't mean to get super angry here. Why do you feel like you need to have an opinion on everything? Like, why do you get to have an opinion about this? Did you watch it? Like, what did you watch? You're so like, dude, you're a casual. And this is like no offense to you. Like, I'm sure you love basketball, but there's no fucking way you watched that team play more than the highlights. You did not watch. Like, who's Jahidi White? Go ahead. Who's Jawan Howard? What was his contract like? You don't know. Like, I don't have you ever heard me give like really solid takes about the 80s? Like, have you really given me like real solid, like, wow, that 82 Lakers team was so blah. No, I didn't watch all the games. I didn't live through it. I didn't experience it. What I know is through stat sheets, highlights, and selected games. Yes, I've gone back and watched the 82 finals, but I didn't watch every single game of the playoffs. I can't talk confidently about something that I didn't see. So look, when people talk about Wilt's greatness, I honestly don't talk a lot. I don't talk a lot. And honestly, like when it comes to Wilt, Bill Russell, Sabonis, not like USSR Sabonis, um, some of the Yugoslavian greats, I usually just listen to people who are like trustworthy, who are older than me, who saw it, if that makes sense. Like I don't need to have an opinion about everything. And I don't think like I think that's it's like 50% of the NBA communities go for a good reason, man. That's a very can I remind you that over 50% of the American population voted for Donald Trump? Or more than 50% of voters voted for Donald Trump as president, not once, but twice? This is a very bad argument. Yes, social media has bled people dry of their common sense and critical understanding of basketball. If you truly understand basketball at a high level, there's no fucking way you can put a comparison between these two players. You just can't. I'm being over dismissive because winning and success level matters. Like, what are we doing here? You don't get to rig your way to championships. You don't get to join a super team and go 2 for 4. If you go to Miami, nothing short of winning 4 championships to me is moving me. Kevin Durant went to the Golden State Warriors for 3 seasons. He won 2 championships and he tore his Achilles on the third one. I'm sorry. If you stack the deck, you better win. You better win. You don't get to lose twice and stacking the deck. That's bullshit. Are you comparing as a player or legacy? I'm comparing greatness. You want to talk greatness? We're talking greatness. You want to talk player for player, like his skill, his talent, his longevity, his stats? Okay, cool. His stats are number 1. Him as a player is number 2. But as a GOAT, like as an actual, like what it means to be a great basketball player, I can't have him top 5, dude. I just can't. I can't. Mm-mm. No. No. I just can't. He did take care of his body. Absolutely took care of his body. And he put like millions of dollars into his body. And that's good. That's very good. Longevity is good. Cool. Vince Carter is not the GOAT either. He played till he was 43. He took care of his body too. My God. For over 50% didn't vote for Trump. Do you understand how the Electoral College works? Yeah, I do understand how the Electoral College works. Do you understand how the Electoral College works? Do you know that Trump not only won the Electoral College in his second election, but he also won the popular vote in his second election, unless I'm absolutely wrong about that? So what part of do you understand how the Electoral College works? Oh, talking about his first term. Okay, cool. He nearly won the popular vote in his first term, but okay, cool. He won the Electoral College in his first term. So what do we want to do? If we want to consider the popular vote as one leg and the Electoral College is the second leg. Of course, the second leg is the one that counts. The first one is just participation trophies. Then he won 2 for 2, or 2 for 3, actually. He lost to Biden. Oh, shock. Weird. Um, but still, like what does that tell you? You want to check Adolf's World War II, pre-World War II approval ratings in Germany to tell me like why popular views don't swing me? It doesn't matter what people say. I think if you asked people right now, like Led Zeppelin, Aerosmith, or Justin Bieber or Drake, I think Justin Bieber and Drake would win that vote. Does that mean that they're better than Led Zeppelin? To whom? To me? No, not to me. What's Carney doing? Don't worry about Trump. I mean, sure. Yeah, I mean, people do believe the world is flat. There's a shocking number of people that still believe the world is flat. I don't know how it happens. Music is subjective, brother. Yeah, I mean, sure, it is. But isn't basketball opinion subjective? Isn't art subjective? So yeah, you can have a person say that I think that Joanna Man is a better film than 2001: A Space Odyssey. And we can all agree that you absolutely don't know what the fuck you're talking about. And yet you have a right to an opinion. That's okay, right? We can agree to that. 2001: A Space Odyssey on one hand, Joanna Man on the other hand, Dude, Where's My Car? I guarantee you there are people here, there are people in this chat who would pick Joanna Man and Dude, Where's My Car? However, the right answer is 2001: A Space Odyssey. And I don't really care what you have to say about it. I know film. And I mean, it's like, look, just the other day, I was having a conversation with somebody about Wind River, right? Wind River is honestly one of the best movies that I've seen in a really long time. It's poetic, it's deep, it's fucking incredibly shot, it's beautifully acted, it's well directed. It's the third leg of a trilogy. It's called the American Frontier Trilogy, which features Sicario, Hell or High Water, and Wind River. It's by the same writer. All three are by the same writer, Tyler Sheridan. However, the third film, which is Wind River, was actually directed by him. I think Wind River is quietly a masterpiece, but a lot of people don't like it. It's too slow, it's too boring, it's too cold, it's too dry, it's too depressing. Okay, cool. You don't get it. It's fine. I'm not sitting here like throwing it down people's throat like, "Oh, you got to love Wind River." But can we accept that like not all opinions are equally valid? Can we agree that one of my best friends studied classical music and her opinion about the merits of Rachmaninoff's concertos and pieces of music and classical and critical discussions between Bach and Beethoven are far more valid than mine? Or have we lost our fucking minds? I don't mean to crash out, but have we lost our damn minds at this point? Have we just completely lost the plot? My opinion on politics does not matter as much as a political scientist. I'm positive of that. I'm positive of that. Just like most people's opinions of music does not matter as much as a person who's devoted their entire life to listening to, studying, and dissecting music. I am a pretty music casual. I know what I like. I know what I don't like. I have a good sense for art in general, so I can apply that basic theory to paintings and music. But for someone who studied paintings, I'm sorry. You're not an authority on basketball. Why don't you call in and see how much of an authority we are on basketball if you're trying to make that claim? I guarantee you I've put a lot more work into this than you have. That is for sure, Mr. 21-year-old who thinks that LeBron is like the greatest player of all time. I guarantee that. How about this? I'll make another claim. I think I've forgotten more about basketball than you will ever know. How about that? Doesn't make me very likable to say that, but I would say that. And yet, I don't know 10% as much as I need to know. How's that for humility? Because I know how far I need to go, but I know how far you are. You are not. How about this? Let's call in. Honestly, I haven't had a crash out in months. I think you're annoying as hell, but call in. Let's have a respectful conversation. At this point, you have struck a nerve with me. You are not an authority on basketball. I didn't claim to be an authority on basketball. I just think your opinion is really invalid. However, you are free to call in. You don't have to turn on your camera. You can use your phone, call in, and let's talk basketball. Let's figure out what somebody who talks like you in the chat actually sounds like. And let's critically dissect what you know about the 90s. Let's figure out what you remember about Michael Jordan, the player that you have such a fucking concrete opinion on. Let's go figure out how much you actually know about his airness. Let's dissect his game. Let's figure it out. Let's figure out what you remember. What are your favorite Michael Jordan games? I'm sure you'll be using Google and AI for that. But like, go ahead, call in. You have the link. The fact you want to argue, though, it's never that serious. No, see, you come from a generation that thinks you can just like talk shit behind a keyboard and never have to back it up. You think you can be an authority on like the coronavirus and think you know everything about vaccines because you read a fucking Google article. I'm a keyboard warrior, respectfully. Okay, then keep your energy there and don't ever come at me again. Because if you come at me, well, like, you're not an authority on whatever, cool. Call in. If you can't call in, you're not real to me. You're fugazi. You are fugazi. You are like a fucking, you're like a, you know, like those, you're like a $2 diamond ring. That's it. You got no respect. Okay. You got no respect for like a past generation. And honestly, you know what truly annoys me is people who feel the need to have strong opinions about things they just don't fucking know about. Like, I promise you, if Mars, people who watch the panel, they understand Mars and Damien is a former pro soccer player, first of all. Okay, let's just be there, first of all. Second of all, Mars watches a lot more soccer than I do. He could tell me like 1,000 things about Yamal that I don't even know about. I am a self admitted soccer casual. My opinions on soccer are like 2 inches deep. They're not deep at all. I can't tell you anything serious about soccer other than I played enough sports to be able to watch the game meaningfully. I can tell you after watching about two matches of Spain, I can tell you their midfield is incredible. Okay. But I can't tell you why it's incredible. I can't tell you the backstory of these players. I can't tell you what clubs they play for. So my observations on soccer are like pretty meaningless. Mars has better NBA takes as well, not gonna lie. Who cares? That's your opinion. You think your opinion holds water. Who are you? I don't even know where you sitting at. You know, like it's you're Doug Smith. I'm Kawhi Leonard. You don't mean nothing to me. Okay. I'm a real victim here. Phoenix plays that's cowardice has robbed me of my daily entertainment. See, you duck and fades, bro. You are just ugh. Yeah. Spain or Argentina? My heart says Argentina. My brain says Spain. Elliot Roberts says, I can talk soccer. Give me the mic on that one. Yo, I'll drop the mic. Let's go. Talk World Cup. I am falling in love with football all over again. Gotta tell you, like the last time I really I gotta tell you, like I was in love with football was 2006. That Italy team in 2006 was so fucking good. So good. I loved it. Do you know that Italian team with Cannavaro hanging the defense, Gigi Buffon, best goalkeeper in the world, in my opinion, at the time. The front line, Francesco Totti, Luca Toni, Alex Del Piero, midfield attack and control with Andrea Pirlo, like just Materazzi, like great overall balanced team, deep team, veteran team, great defense. Do you know they conceded 2 goals the entire tournament? Okay. Number 1 was an own goal. And number 2 was in the final where Zidane got a penalty at the 7-minute mark. Do you realize how absurd it is to go an entire tournament without conceding a live ball game, like a live ball goal at all? Jesus. Elliot calling in. Elliot, what is up? What's good, Elliot? Hello? Your mic is horrible, my guy. Horrible. You got a different mic? Are you on a cell phone? I think you might be frozen.
Yeah. Okay, good. I can hear you.
Yeah, I think you're better.
What's up?
It's all good, man.
Listen, man.
We are having our instead of
that Phoenix. I don't know what the hell he's talking about. You are absolutely right about Michael Jordan. Okay, there. What I was telling you about. People don't understand that Jordan had his own rules. Okay, LeBron never had rules. Jordan had rules. Okay, documented rules, NBA certified rules on how to foul him, how to put him out of the game, on how to literally contain him, because they literally couldn't. They had to devise a plan in order to take him out of games, in order to take him out of his rhythm, because his rhythm was unseen before. That was his rhythm, and LeBron will never get into that rhythm. He has fits and spurts, but he can never get on the Jordan rhythm. Let me just say that. You are absolutely right about Jordan. I was in that era. I saw it all, and believe me, Jordan is the GOAT by far. What LeBron's doing right here, he's trying to chase greatness. Jordan is the barometer to which greatness is judged. Simple as that.
Phoenix Play said his rhythms was catch isolations versus zero help. LOLZ. Man, unbelievable moron. Okay,
get him out here. He's 21 years old. He's just wet behind the ears. I don't know if he had the taste of pee yet. Just get him out of here. Just get him out. Just get him going. Just get him going.
You know what? Phoenix Plays Ed, I'm sorry. You have struck a nerve with me at this point. Your level of disrespect towards Michael Jordan is going to get you banned, and it just did.
Yeah, get him.
You've officially been banned. I don't think I've banned anyone for like a good 6 months, 5 months, 4 months. No, I mean, I've timed people out, but I don't think I've banned people. But somebody this stupid actually just, I can't. Like, I can't listen to somebody talk about Michael Jordan this way. It's too dumb. It's too dumb.
He ain't seen life yet. I don't think he's touched pee yet. I don't think he's touched grass yet, real grass.
You remember Tropic Thunder?
Yes.
Do you remember, without saying the actual word, do you remember Robert Downey Jr.'s incredible advice to Ben Stiller? You can't go full.
Yeah.
See, I'm not gonna say the word, but you can't go full, right?
Yeah.
See, Rain Man, little autistic, but incredibly smart. Yeah, incredibly smart. But you can't go like all the way. Phoenix Plays Ed, you just went all the way.
I went all the way.
You went all the way. See, like LeBron James is the GOAT. See, that's half the way. But Michael Jordan was amazing in his era. There you're halfway. Michael Jordan attacked against zero help. You've gone all the way. Never go all the way, bro. Going all the way gets you banned. Sorry.
Okay, listen, and explain to him what a foul was in the 90s and what it is now.
Oh my God. My God. Like people were getting fucking like whacked across the head, put on their asses. Like,
thank you.
The level of physicality, like I see players bitch about it today, and it's just absolutely like, yeah. Anyways, doesn't matter. You're here to talk about football. Let's talk about football.
Okay. Yeah. I'll give you a primer on the World Cup final. Okay.
Yes,
Messi, let's speak to Argentina first. Messi is, if he wins this, he can be considered the GOAT. I still say Edson Arantes de Nascimento is the GOAT. If you don't know who that is, Google him. But if Messi wins it this year, he can reach GOAT status with me. It is that simple. Listen, Argentina's on a wave. England played the wrong tactics in the semifinals. They should have won, but again, that's on Tuchel's part, so we escaped that. Yeah. But on the Spanish side, they are probably the smartest team in the World Cup. These guys are extremely intelligent and they're well drilled. Their manager has them playing the most astute, the most erudite football in the world at this point. They're the reason why they're number one in the world, and it's simply because everybody gets it. Everybody has a role. Everybody plays a role. Everybody executes to that level. The way they dismissed France in that semifinal was absolutely clinical. And the reason why is because everybody understands their part to play and they play it to the hilt. And they were superlative. I say right now, it wouldn't surprise me if they won 2-0 again in the final against Argentina. I would give Argentina a goal.
You say 2-0?
I say 2-0.
Wow.
I say 2-0.
I think Messi gets one, but I
give him one. I wouldn't be surprised at 2-1, but I'll say this: it wouldn't be surprised if Spain shut out Argentina, because quite simply, Argentina is about, okay, they have the support, they have the crowd, and it gets them on side, and they have this never die attitude. But Spain is a very intelligent team, and they play the game like they were passing around France, and France had the best attack in that World Cup to that point, and they just totally played them under the ground. They were the better side by far. Argentina got to the World Cup final because England did away with their principles. They didn't put on attacking players. They didn't that would stretch the defense and keep the wing backs pegged back. It was a shit show by the manager, quite simply. And that's the reason why Argentina came back into the match. And they were down 1-0 by the 80th minute. And it should have been a fait accompli if not for their manager. Spain had control of France from start to finish. And quite simply, right now, for me, they're the favorites to win this World Cup. And I don't see, they're unflappable right now. They're defending European champions. It's the first time that a European champion and a South American champion face in the World Cup final. And I see a Spanish win.
Yeah, I also think Spain will win, but I'm finding it very hard to imagine a world in which Spain loses just because they're so disciplined.
They're very, thank you. It's the right word.
Right.
They are extremely disciplined.
So, like, there are certain teams that they can go up 1-0, 2-0, and there's still an element of doubt in terms of how they'll close it out. But because of how well they manage possessions, control tempo, again, based on my very rudimentary understanding of football, just from what I can see, it feels very difficult to come back against this team. So, an early concession of a goal or a penalty or a header or a corner, even the chances, right? Like, I think Argentina maximized all of their chances, and it was kind of strange to watch France just allow them to attack for like 40 minutes straight. Yeah. And almost like trying to close out the game 1-0, like they thought they were just going to ride them out. And it's just like, okay, well, I mean, trying not to lose versus winning, right? But the experience leans very, I don't want to say leans heavily into Argentina, but they're a very experienced team. They've been here before. They've had deep tournament runs.
Absolutely, and they're the defending World Cup champion. So again, it'd be the first time since 62 that we've had a two-time successive World Cup champion. So since Brazil 62. So again,
what are the greatest World Cup teams of all time? So here's some options that I was thinking about. 2002 Brazil, 1970 Brazil, 2006 Italia, 1998 France.
Right.
What am I missing?
I think of those teams, probably 2002 Brazil. They had Cafu at the back, they had Roberto Carlos, they had Ronaldinho, they had R9, all playing at the peak of their powers. And their midfield, they had Gilberto in the middle. And again, it was just a top side of those teams that you quoted. Probably 2002 R9 Brazil was probably the best of that group that you just mentioned.
How do you feel about 1982 Italy? That's a good mention as well.
They rode the crest of a wave. They're very reminiscent of Argentina now. The Paolo Rossi era side. They rode the crest of a wave. I think they grew in confidence. They didn't start out the best. I think Brazil was like highly touted then to one that was the Zico side. But Italy slowly grew up there. But they had Dino Zoff in goal. They had a superior defense, and Paolo Rossi carried them to a World Cup.
I think, yeah, there's been so many good teams. I think Spain, you know,
I see the comment on the screen here. 2002, the best of all time. No, 1970, Brazil, best of all time.
I didn't watch 1970 Brazil. I'll have to
1970
go back.
Brazil. That was Pele's last stand. Again, ask any football expert, they'll probably call 1970 Brazil as probably the best constructed team of all time.
There's a video on how good Ronaldinho was. It's, by the way, like, just one of my absolutely my favorite player, other than Alex Del Piero. Like, my favorite player to ever watch was Ronaldinho. And I think, like, the reason for that is at least in part because of just the creativity of his game.
Yeah. I mean,
there's such a pizzazz and finesse to, he was a magician. And that's the thing. I think that 2006 Italy team didn't have a player quite on that magnitude of excitement.
No.
If that makes sense.
No.
But I think from a technical perspective, they were still amazing.
They're still very good. They're still very good. Cannavaro were still a very good side. But again, they're a side that, you know, I think if said properly, France 2006 should have won the World Cup. It's just that they got into Zidane's head. He went a bit haywire, and the rest is history. And that was from the start. I think Materazzi had a plan for Zidane, you know, get in his head, and for the most part, Zidane couldn't take it anymore, and he went postal. And that got him sent off of the World Cup. And I still believe that if Zidane stayed on pitch, probably France would have won that World Cup because they were superior to Italy. Italy got there on sheer defense and catenaccio. But I still say that was a missed opportunity for France then. But you know, unfortunately Zidane was thinking of himself. But guess who's going to be the next manager of France today? It'll be Zidane. He's the next guy to come in.
You think Zidane is going to be the next man?
He's waiting. That's pretty much a fait accompli. Yeah, it's done. It's pretty much done. Yeah, because Deschamps is leaving after this World Cup. He's already said this will be his last one. He's been there 25 years. Zidane is Zidane's time. He was just waiting for the national team spot. He will be the next one up.
That's interesting.
Yeah,
I actually wanted to.
I'm excited to see it. I'm excited to see because France is still a very, very young side with a lot of talent, a dearth of talent. And one thing that Zidane is very good at, and he showed that at Real Madrid, he knows how to galvanize players. He's a player's manager. He knows how to galvanize players. He knows how to play to their strengths. And I'm gonna love seeing France in Zidane's hands. I think it'll be a little more attacking. I think it will be a little more. I think slightly more tactically astute. I think a lot of people are getting, you know, tired of Deschamps' tactics. But Zidane is, I think he's going to take France to a new level starting in the Euros in 2028.
Do you think Italy will ever make it back? Like, I think 2021 was a decent year, but like in terms of developing at the club level, getting the level of like talent that they had, it just, to me, it's felt so bizarre rooting for Italy and Serbia for most of my life, and it's just not seeing these two countries at all.
I think they've been let down by their management. I don't think the coaching there and the thing about it, they're very homogeneous in terms of their staff. They like hiring Italian managers. They won't go outside of their borders to hire the national team manager, and which a lot of other groups have done outside, because they believe in their football. They've won 4 World Cups. They think, you know what, we don't need to listen to everybody else. We have a certain style. We play to it. But I think what's let down Italy over the last few years is that they still have a great defense, but they really don't have any attackers of any astute. You don't have the Del Pieros anymore. You don't have the Tottis anymore. You don't have you don't have those flair players.
I do like your pronunciation on those. Good job.
Yeah. You know what I mean? They don't have they don't have the flair players that can take their group forward. It's the same with Portugal. Portugal's got a similar issue. I mean, and that's the reason. That's what's holding them back, because they lack attack. But defense wise, goalkeeper wise, they're of good renown. But in this game, you need to have attackers of a certain reputation, and most, if not all, of the superpowers you see have a star attacker or a group of attackers, and that's what Italy does not have at this point in time.
Yeah. What about the France-England game? Who do you think comes out?
Well, they're going to play a lot of second stringers now. Now it's, because, it's all about the World Cup final. Nobody cares about third and fourth place. So they're just going to throw a few reserves on and
really?
Play out the match. So, yeah, it's just be a friendly. I don't think it's going to be very competitive at all. At this point in time, everybody's thinking about the club season now, right? So they're thinking about getting their contract renewals. They're thinking of moving on in terms of the transfer market. So their minds won't be in the match. So it'll be it won't be as competitive as it would be the World Cup final. The World Cup final is gonna be way more competitive than.
So there's no, like, I don't remember this in previous years, maybe because I'm just forgetting, but like there's no real value in winning bronze here.
No, nobody remembers you. Why would right now your mind is on your club side? Right now is your mind on your contract. Right now your mind's on not getting injured, because that's going to cost you money. So, you're not going to find people flying in because the stakes aren't as high. They say, listen, I got 60 million to earn, and I don't want to miss that. I have performance bonuses I want to earn. I don't want to miss that. So you're not going to find, you're going to find a lot of people pulling out of tackles. You're going to find a lot of people not going for headers and such. It'll be competitive. They're not gonna make it a farce, but
right.
Is it gonna be as full-blooded as the World Cup final? No, because listen, you got the club season to think about.
Well, I didn't realize that like you don't think Harry Kane's gonna play at all.
I would think, it would be like Ollie Watkins would come in. You see Morgan Rogers would come in. You find a lot of the Eberechi would come in. A lot of the second stringers.
I'm thinking Mbappe is still chasing
Well,
records.
Mbappe's okay. Maybe Mbappe will come in to chase the Golden Boot, but he'll only be on for a certain time. They'll take him off after 50, 60 minutes. Okay, we're chasing the Golden Boot, but I don't think. How far ahead is Messi?
I think France is okay. Like here's my view on this, and again, I have no valid opinion on this at all. This is just my total non-football opinion. This is me as a basketball fan thinking about football. I would try to embarrass the other team. Like show that I'm so good that it doesn't even like. I would try to beat them by 5. I would try to beat them 5-1. Like I would, if I'm France, because they're so much better than England. No offense.
Right. I understand that, but
yeah, like I would embarrass the crap out of them. I would make it like history. I would make it 8-1 or something crazy. I think,
but no one will remember the game. Like literally when they call up the
8-1.
No one will remember the game. The thing about it is they only remember who won the final. That's the thing about soccer. Soccer is all about who won the title. If you came second place, nobody knows you. If you came third place, nobody knows you. Fourth place, nobody cares.
My team won. If my team got beat 8-1 for the
right, that may cost a job, and people will want to forget that sort of result. Any 5-1, 6-1, 8-1 result, people want to forget. They say, I don't. We're getting a new manager anyway, so we can forget about that. They want to just, throw that to the annals of history.
Well, that's too bad. I think that's a problem. And honestly, like, here's the thing. I think the reason that this game will be so uncompetitive is because both nations have like a high degree of prestige.
Yes.
But if like a team like Cabo Verde or Egypt or Iran had made this, that would have been incredible.
Absolutely.
That's unfortunate. I think that's probably it.
But these are footballing superpowers.
Yeah.
All they care about is number one. So if they don't make it to the World Cup final, if they're not considered runners up, because everybody remembers first place, everybody remembers runners up. Right. They'll never remember third and fourth. They just they just switch off and they say, yeah, okay.
It's unfortunate that works that way. But yeah, I think about things like a role player because that's probably how I think about a lot of things. I think like a role player. I think like go out and give it your best try.
Right. But no one really cares. It's like
I'm not a but
seriously,
dude,
it's like
Elliot,
nobody cares.
I'm not
Same thing with the Olympics. Well, to a certain extent, the only reason why the Olympics they care about the Olympics is because you get a medal with it. You don't get a medal with this. It's just a friendly. It's just a literal friendly. It's okay. Let's kick the ball around. Let's make this fun, guys. Let's make this kind of competitive. Other than that, it's like, you know, everybody's gonna forget. Literally, ask anyone who came third and fourth in the 2022 World Cup. Very few people would know. They would have to Google it. They would have to literally Google it. Other than that, it's like, yeah everybody remembers who won. Everybody who remembers who's runner up. Other than that, who cares? It's like nobody cares. Everybody's thinking, it's like English players and French players will just think, listen, I got a contract to secure. I got a transfer to secure. Let me not get injured. Let me, you know, preserve my, you know, my profitability.
Once again, if Cabo Verde was there, people would remember it forever. Because I think Cabo Verde will be more remembered than the runner-up of this World Cup.
Absolutely. Sides like Cabo Verde. Yeah, exactly. The upstarts will always be remembered because they really, and especially their team. A lot of their team are going to go to the top 5 leagues this year because they really impressed a lot of people. A lot of people had eyes on that side. If that goalkeeper was about 5-6 years younger,
Norway as well,
he'd be going to a top 5 side, no doubt about that. But he's 42, so his chances of getting that are slim and none. But a lot of his, I mean, the guy who scored I forget who scored, the one who scored the tie, maybe somebody in the
one
chat
who went to his
can let us know.
girlfriend.
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly.
That guy's young. He looks young.
Yeah, he looks young, but are you talking to keeper, right?
No, I'm not talking about the keeper. I'm talking about the guy who scored.
The scorer, yeah, exactly. He's young. He'll go to a top 5 league, guaranteed. He'll go to Germany. He'll go to France. He will go to a top 5 league if he's not there already. And that's what that's what the great part of the World Cup is, that a lot of people who weren't exposed for smaller countries get exposed. They get that exposure because the world is watching. So they get.
You watch soccer, and obviously you watch basketball because you watch this channel, and obviously you know a lot about basketball. So give me the difference between these two teams, because two sports. So for most of my life, I've preferred basketball. Which is why I run a basketball channel and I watch basketball obsessively. And it's the sport that I played and the sport that I love. And I never made a single soccer team. However, I have to admit something. I've been watching a lot of soccer lately.
Okay, good.
And how do I say this? It's better. It's better. I can't believe I'm saying this. It's better. There's a lot of reasons for this. The lack of stoppages is one.
Right. Outside the hydration break this year, which is basically a commercial break.
Yeah, this is an America only thing. But yeah,
that's American only thing. Yeah, exactly.
The second part of it is clearly the tension stretches better. In basketball, there's too many stoppages for pure tension to ever fully build. And I think, weirdly enough, I did not feel this way in the 90s. I did not feel this way in the early 2000s. I feel this way more today because of the number of stoppages there are in an NBA game, the number of ads, the number of reviews, the number of bullshit, like the amount of flopping. Because I mean, flopping was the one thing I didn't like about soccer, and now it's all over the NBA too. So I'm just like, okay, well, I mean, it used to be a plus for the NBA that, you know, enforcers like Charles Oakley, and tough assholes like Michael Jordan were running around the league. But now you got a flopping bobblehead like Jalen Brunson running with the finals. So I'm just like, okay, you know, like shit. Like I guess NBA players have turned into soccer players, but the sport isn't nearly as, to me, engaging, precisely because the way. Okay, so I sports should be about moments.
Right.
The moments are what stick. The moments are what matter. The game winner, the poster dunk. The 21 to 1 comeback to win the game. This is what fans will remember. Fans do not remember a 38-point blowout.
Right.
The reason that the NBA, I think, especially today, is so much more forgettable than a football match, especially a high-level football match between two clubs that are incredible, is because teams simply are so much more boring than they used to be. There's a lot more there's a homogenous game plan to how teams play. There's a lot of threes. And while it was entertaining to watch Steph Curry pull from three, it's not nearly as entertaining to watch Derek White shoot 32% from three because the analytics say he should. And I think that the moment that soccer can deliver, like the great example is Argentina's comeback.
Right.
That moment does not exist in basketball, except for maybe one in every 80 games.
Right.
That moment can happen once every 6 games in football. Now, obviously, a football game can be very anticlimactic. It can be 0-0. The sides can be very, drag it out. I did not enjoy watching Canada play. I'm sorry to all the Canadians out here. I did not really love the way Canada played.
I love the result. I love the fact that they got to top 16 because, the Canada soccer can go to the government and say, listen, see how we did got to top 16? Now we can get better funding.
It's a positive step in the right direction, but in terms of from a pure entertainment standpoint, obviously I was rooting for Canada all the way through. I would have loved for Canada to win the World Cup. I live here. I want this country to win. And I'm certainly not going to be one of those idiots on TSN saying, stick to hockey. No, fuck that. No, soccer should grow in this country, and it should absolutely grow by leaps and bounds.
It's the fastest growing sport in this country, period. Anyway, soccer is. So
it should grow by leaps and bounds. That being said, I did not find the way Canada played to be particularly memorable or particularly interesting. However, watching Spain play, watching France play, watching Cabo Verde play, watching Argentina play, watching even spurts of Egypt, at times, Norway, Sweden, there's Switzerland. There have been so many interesting games that I've watched. Japan. Oh my God. I loved Japan. Okay. So the best movie that I've ever watched is, 2, A Separation and 4 months, 3 weeks, 2 days.
Right.
To me, the mark of a great film is you're kind of drifty when you go into it, but by the end of it, the credits roll and you're staring at the credits and you're just like, what the fuck just happened to me? What the fuck just happened to me? This is how I felt when I watched Texas Chainsaw Massacre 1974 for the first time.
Right.
This is how I felt when I watched Jurassic Park for the first time as a kid. It captivated my entire mind. What Adam Silver said, mind share, the NBA, this much mind share. Jurassic Park had 95% of my mind share from 1993 to 1994. Every toy I bought, everything, it blew my mind. Jaws changed how I felt about oceans for a good 10 years. This blew my mind. So when I talk about captivated, I mean something has really imprinted itself on my brain to the point where I can't even think about something else. Something is transformed. I felt that way about that. I felt that way about at least 4 matches in the World Cup so far, including 2 Argentina matches. So I just don't remember feeling this way about basketball in a long time. So I think the NBA can learn a lot from football is what I'm saying.
It can. And just a little fact, sharks are actually friendly with humans. Very few shark deaths. Is very few and far between, to be fair.
One of my best friends, I think calling him one of my best friends is disingenuous. He was not one of my best friends, but he was a friend, and he was one of the coolest people that I've ever met. Rob Stewart devoted his entire life to saving sharks. Hold on, let me see if I have his book. I do have his book.
Oh, so, is that the one? Is that the Canadian?
Yes.
I remember him. Yes. Okay. That tragically passed away recently. Yes.
2017. I was at his funeral.
That's right.
I was at his funeral. So was George Stroumboulopoulos, who spoke, gave a eulogy. I met Rob well before he made his first Sharkwater movie, and I met him. The last time I saw Rob was at Winners in Yorkville. 2 weeks before he died.
Oh no.
We were meeting up to discuss editing spots. So my point is, yes, sharks are amazing.
My condolences, by the way.
Absolutely, and to his family. But sharks are amazing, and they are the greatest animals in the world, and I love them with all my heart. And my greatest dream is to swim with them again.
Yeah. Yeah, they're very
They're
friendly
amazing.
with humans, remarkably so. And they just have a bad rap because of Jaws.
Jaws and misunderstandings, and
Misunderstanding.
and you know what, that's what I think that's what tickled the nerve with that Phoenix plays that guy, because he said like popular opinion therefore blah, right?
Mm,
The average person thinks a shark is very, very, very dangerous to human beings, which is simply not the case. There
simply
are
not the case.
very, very few shark species that would ever even want to go near a human being. There's very
Exactly.
few shark attacks in the world. The ones that do happen are almost always a case of mistaken identity, and
Yep.
human beings have killed a million times more
Oh
sharks than
yeah,
sharks
yeah,
have killed human
absolutely.
beings. And so, yeah, I
Same with whales. Whales are the same thing. Very much so.
whales, absolutely. And if anything else, it's so funny, like to see the difference between killer whales and sharks. Now, I believe in the conservation of both.
Mm,
However, killer whales are vicious. Vicious.
yes, but
Not
they rarely attack humans.
They rarely attack humans, but you know who they're very vicious towards? Sharks.
Sharks, yeah, they're mortal enemies. Yeah, they're mortal
Um,
enemies.
right. And it's just like it's so interesting. Tetrahedron said sharks are terrified of killer whales. They are.
Yeah,
Um, so yeah, but killer whales get this like very cute, cuddly, orca, SeaWorld, tag, and sharks get this very, and I think it's just because of how they look.
yeah.
Killer whales
Well,
kind of look like
remember
dolphins.
the movie Free Willy. That helps.
Yes. That helped a lot. Good movie, by the way.
Mm.
Uh, Jay Giro said bull sharks are probably the most aggressive. We got a bit of a problem with in the rivers with them here in Australia. Yeah, man, I got to tell you, movies are not doing Australia any favors. Okay? Every movie I have ever seen set in Australia, Wolf Creek, Outback, they all suck. No, first of all, the movies are great, by the way, but everyone dies. Every
Yeah,
American who's ever been to Australia in any movie ever dies. They all die. They get they get eaten, they get murdered, they get eaten by a shark, they get attacked, they get lost in the outback. I don't think I'm ever going to go to Australia. And I've had friends who go to Australia and they're like, Rob, you're courageous. You survived like this much and that much. I'm like, yeah, but I'm not going to survive Australia. I know it. I'm going to go to Australia and I'm going to see like, I don't know, a taipan, and I'm going to want to hug it or something. And then I'm be the first person in the world to ever die from a taipan bite.
yeah. You know what? Another movie that gave Australia a bad rep. Mad Max.
Really? Why did I give that a bad? Oh, because
Well,
it looks like the dystopian.
post-apocalyptic sort of.
Mm, I didn't even know it was set in Australia. So
It's set in
tell
Australia.
me,
Yeah,
casual. Yeah.
yeah.
Well, that is very interesting. Anyways, Elliot, thanks a lot for calling in. Always appreciate talking to you.
Yeah,
Always a good
yeah,
conversation.
but do foster your listen. Football, soccer, as they say here, is a wonderful sport. It just takes a degree of patience, thinking. Think of soccer like a chess match.
I love chess.
And
My favorite thing on earth.
if you enjoy chess, you'll enjoy soccer. As simple as that, because the interplay between managers, the different formations, how people think, how the people react, and the moments that it brings. That's the reason why the World Cup is the greatest sporting spectacle the world has ever seen. Simple as that. They say the Olympics. No, it's never, not even close to the World Cup. Not even close.
Have you ever watched a movie and there's like a note that is underneath, like throughout the film? A good example is the movie. Vincent Cassel, Monica Bellucci, 2002, Irreversible. Okay.
Okay.
Do you remember? There's like a humming note underneath that entire film. There's like a little bit of like it's a tense, sort of unnerving beat. Okay. This it felt like it was turning my skin inside out because it does not stop. It is persistent. It is a note that just keeps going and going. I've employed this tactic in several of my films where it's like a note that does not drop. It does not resolve. It's tense. Soccer is like a note that doesn't resolve until it finally does. And when it does, there is so much resolve and catharsis in that goal. So like, for instance, like I mean, again, I'll step away from a basketball game to go to the washroom and I won't pause because it's 62-64. And if I miss a possession, sue me. Okay. I
Right.
know I take about 35 seconds to go to the washroom. I'm going to come back. If something really major happened, they're going to show me a replay. I don't leave for soccer.
No, but that's
Like
good.
I cannot leave. I may be dying, but if they're not on a hydration break, I'm not on a hydration break. I can't leave because
Right.
something might happen. And I mean, I know they'll show the goal, but then I will have missed it, and it'll be the thing that I've been waiting for like
Right.
40 minutes. I just think that it's some there's some there, it's not an accident that it's this popular. And people who try to explain that it's this popular as like, oh, it's just more accessible and people play with socks. No, it's
No.
this popular because the rules make it so freaking engaging.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Anyways,
everybody
enough.
can play it.
Yeah.
Everybody can play it.
I
Everybody
can.
has-
I got cut from 3 teams in a row. I never made a soccer team ever. I made every basketball team with the exception of 2 in my whole life, and both the teams that I didn't make were pro teams, so I'm not too sad about it.
Right.
But like, I never made a soccer team, and I'm still so mad. You know what? Like, this is like the one thing I was thinking when I was watching that Japan game was like, man, I wish I'd made a soccer team. Like, I feel like I really missed out on a sport that was so critical. And then
Yeah.
when I was like
Yeah.
24, so my friend knew that I was an athlete. He knew that I'd played rugby, that I played basketball, that I played tennis. He's like, he's so good at so many sports. Surely he'll be good at soccer too. So he invited me to his men's league. And they're
Mhm.
all like pretty good competitive players. They play every single week. I'm not saying they're pros,
Right.
but like they're good. Like they could.
Right.
I'm not saying they could hang-
Semi-pro.
yeah, they're really good players. Like there's some real talent there,
Right.
dude. Oh boy, almost had an own goal. Was completely useless. The only thing I could tell my friend after was nobody scored while I was on the pitch. Nobody scored. So for
That's
the
good.
20 minutes that I came on before I got booted off and banished and never allowed to come back ever, and they won't even let me watch the games. They're like, you're so bad, you can't even watch the in those 20
Well, they're
minutes.
teasing you. They're Josh. They're
Nobody
teasing you.
scored.
Don't worry. But
However, my big fuck up was as I was passing to the goalie, I missed the goalie by about 1.5 feet. It was just a little off target, and it was just from about 8 feet away.
right.
So he had to chase down what would have been definitely a goal. And I was just
That's
passing back
good.
to him.
So listen, it's all about frequency. The more you play it, the better you get. Simple as that. You know what
Fuck
I
it,
mean?
man. I'm gonna take a soccer ball tomorrow morning in this smoggy ass weather, and I'm gonna go and
Yeah.
practice. And you know what? I'm gonna be the next Vozinha. You're gonna see me on Team Canada in 2030, and I'm gonna be this 43-year-old, 5'11", washed up athlete. This is gonna be the story of a century. And we're like, this guy was he was terrible at soccer forever. He was the worst athlete in the whole world. Got cut from his grade 6 soccer team, grade 8 soccer team, nearly scored an own goal in a men's league, was terrible. But he watched the World Cup and he was inspired by
There
Spain
you
and he
go.
was inspired by Messi. And he
Yeah.
said, if Japan can do it, I can do it. And then he became a star, the one Canada needed to achieve
Yeah.
bronze. See, even in my wildest dreams, I don't dream beyond bronze for Canada. Sad,
You gotta tap into those European origins, man. I tell you gotta tap into it. You know what I mean?
yeah, no, this will never happen. However, it would be cool. I think it would be really cool for, and again, this is a word of just not advice, but just an idea for somebody out there who's my age, 38 or older, 36. Let's just say this is advice for anyone 35 to 45. Why don't you train like you're trying out for a professional team for like 6 months?
Yeah.
What's the worst that could happen? You get into awesome shape.
That's
You
true.
eat really good. You learn a new skill. You become more balanced. Like, do you know like the transformative effect that I'm just talking like the last 3 weeks of doing 50 squats a day with weights has had on me? I feel 1,000 times better.
Absolutely.
Just 50 squats.
Absolutely. It's like learning self-defense, right? It's like learning any sort of combative discipline. Not only are you more knowledgeable about defending yourself, but you get fitter, you get stronger, get more knowledgeable, and you understand that fighting is deadly and the use of force can be deadly, and the more you become a pacifist as a result.
Can you imagine this being part of my my soccer Olympics story or my World Cup story? He was a basketball YouTuber, crashed out on this guy about his opinion on Jordan versus LeBron, and then decided to say fuck it and just become a pro soccer player.
Yeah. Well, listen, it's the more you watch it, the more in love you become. Listen, I remember I was a coach for 7 years myself. I coached my.
I find it very regrettable that I didn't pursue soccer at all. I think it's because I was way more naturally gifted at basketball and tennis.
Right.
But the reality is, I'm 5'11". I
Right.
don't have a massive wingspan.
Right.
You've
been perfect for soccer.
Exactly. That was the only sport that I could have actually pursued. And again, at my absolute peak, I was very fast. That's the only advantage I had. I was insanely fast, but I just didn't know how to control the ball.
And remember,
my footwork has never been coordinated. Just never happened.
And remember, the best footballers of all time, the Maradonas, the Messis, the Pele's, short. They're all small. Maradona's about 5'6". Messi's about 5'7". Same thing with Pele. Pele was a shorter guy too. Yeah, they're all small.
That might also explain why they've captivated such a mind share of audience, right? Because if you look at Southeast Asia, if you look at the majority of places in the world that have huge populations, so we're not talking Serbia, Norway, we're not talking North America, we're talking like Asia, Southeast Asia. The average height of a middle-aged man today is about 5'8", 5'7". So the reality is these people are like really captivated by a story of somebody their size doing something, right? Which is what made Allen Iverson so popular. Let's just be honest, right? He was the height of an American male. Like
exactly,
you know.
Well, that's why bringing it full circle. Why Kyle Lowry is the GOAT, because he was a smaller guard who nobody believed would ever get to a level of being the GOAT. He just kept trying, taking fouls, and became a better player as a result. And now look at him. We always like the underdog. We always like the individual who didn't have all the physical attributes, but he had one special gift that he could bestow upon the world. With Kyle, it was a supercomputer in terms of basketball.
I thought you were going to say it was his caboose.
And his caboose. And his caboose. Yeah. That was another genetic anomaly. He could take fouls and get right back up. Did you ever see Kyle get injured after taking a foul? Never.
Nope. Some got injured a lot, but never after taking a foul. Anyways, Elliot, thanks a lot for calling in, man. Learned a lot about soccer. Hopefully our audience will lock into the World Cup. I think
World Cup final will be good. It will be good. I predict 2-1 Spain. I'll give Messi a goal. I'll give Argentina a goal, but I still think Spain is still the smartest team in world football. They are very, very, very erudite, smart. And they have a game plan for everyone, and I have no doubt they have a game plan for Argentina.
I think so too, but I hope not. I hope that Messi will go out with another World Cup. I think it would be awesome.
If Messi wins another World Cup, we got to talk GOAT now. Then the GOAT talk is really on. Then like you go back to back, is okay. We can talk GOAT. Before, I still say Pele is the greatest player of all time, but after this, then the conversation can begin. Damn.
Okay. We will see. I very much doubt that he will win. But if he does against this team, and I mean, granted, by the way, he just beat the team France, right? They beat France to get here.
Who?
Wait, Spain beat France. What am I saying?
Spain beat France.
Sorry. They beat England. Would England and Spain have been comparable in terms of like a matchup? I think
they went to the last European final.
There we go. So they already beat the team that was on Spain's level. Spain beat the team that was supposed to win the World Cup. I don't think like pre-tournament odds should have too much of a swing, but I think Argentina was around 5th place. So right now they're being, coming into the quarterfinals, they were picked to lose against England.
Yeah, but again, tactically, England didn't have it together at the wrong time, and they lost as a result. I think if they were, again, I talked about it.
I
It
think
frustrates me to this time
intangibles.
anyway. So,
Yeah, I
but
think
again,
intangibles, confidence, these things matter so much. Like again, on paper, you could say that Philly team was better than that Raptors team in 2019. On
mm,
paper, you could say.
mm,
I mean, Embiid was just so talented, but Kawhi just had the edge, man. Mentally, it's just like when you got
the
that
Sixers.
guy.
That was the Sixers' time to win the NBA title. That was the year. 2019 was the year the Sixers should have won.
Yeah, I think so, and I think you know the preseason, pre playoffs, Milwaukee, Golden
And
State,
Milwaukee too. Yeah, but nobody gave the
Philly,
Raptors a chance.
all of them were ahead of the Raptors. People thought the Raptors would be
Yeah,
bounced in the second round against Philly, and then the Raptors beat the odds 3 straight times.
yeah,
And it's just like when I felt the fabric of that team, it just felt like they had caught a rhythm at the right time. They were in series, but they were never out of the series. They never quit on themselves. They had like
yeah.
this toughness and grit and resilience. And you know
And they
what?
had the
Like,
perfect leader who was Kawhi. They had the perfect leader.
I mean, it was a treat. It was everybody was. I mean, I don't want to say everybody was a leader, but like Danny Green was a leader. Kawhi was
Danny
a
Green.
leader.
Yeah,
Fred,
I
you know,
mean, everybody
Fred was a
stepped
leader
up.
off the bench. Like they had a lot of great leaders. And I think like when I look at this Argentina team, when they go down 1-0, I don't sense panic at all.
No,
Like they never panic.
no, they
And
don't.
that to
No, they
me
don't.
is like a
They're a very
superpower.
resilient side. I'll give Argentina that. They're very resilient.
Yeah, which is why I
Extremely.
think
And they have
they
great
have a
support.
chance.
That 12th man is serious. That's a serious amount of support, and they never get down, they never get low. They're always there to pick their side up and keep them going. They have serious support. Probably the best.
I picked
The best in the World
Argentina.
Cup thus
I
far.
picked Argentina to beat England, and very publicly and very unpopularly, I picked Spain to beat France.
Yeah.
So,
Well, you got them right both times. So you must be doing something right. There you go.
I am doing something right. So right now, I'm gonna say this. I pick Argentina to win.
You're picking Argentina to win? What scoreline?
This is not my head. This is my heart. And
This
my
is your heart. Okay. If it's your head, what do you say?
My head says Spain. Of course, Spain is definitely the better team. However, my heart says Argentina. I have to like. I'm rooting for it. I want it to happen. I want to speak this into existence. I think Argentina will win, and I feel like maybe they're down 1-0, and they will tie it with an equalizer in like the 90th minute. We'll go to extra time and we'll win on penalties. I think 1-1, win on penalties. Please do not take. This is not prophecy. I already admitted I'm a total basketball football casual. The fact that I was right about the last 2 games is a total fluke. It was completely based on me just doing a little bit of analytics research. This is not based on analytics research. Analytics say Spain will whoop Argentina analytically. Yeah. However, my gut is telling me that the GOAT refuses to lose.
Well, again, don't be surprised if you get a call or 2 extra for Argentina in this final than not. Don't be surprised if you do, because remember, FIFA, the amount of eyes that will attractive Messi wins does the double.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be insane. It'll be absolutely insane, because not only good for FIFA, it'll be good for the MLS, because that's where Messi plays right now. So believe me, Americans want to see Messi win and say, "Oh, come see Messi," and then they pack stadium. So there's an agenda here, absolutely an agenda.
Doesn't
and
he
that's
already
the thing about
pack
soccer.
stadiums?
Oh yeah, well, he's already packed stadiums now. Imagine if he wins, if he's a double World Cup winner back to back, it'll be insane. He won't get a moment's peace. He will not get a moment's peace.
Well, I hope they win. I don't think they will, but I'm hoping, and I'm going to predict they win just because I'm trying to speak it into existence. But yeah, this is me setting on the proverbial fence, if you will. You know, there's no way to be wrong. See, it's like if the Argentina loses, be like, see, I told you, my head said that. But if Argentina wins, it's like, see, I told you, my heart was right. You know,
exactly. But you're a casual, so you know you don't have to. You can sit on the fence. You can, and be happy in doing that. You know what I mean? So it's only when you're ingrained with the side, like I was with England. So again, I was ingrained with the side. So again, I live and die with the team. So slightly upset, but again, I knew England was, had a chance, but it was a slimmer chance because I know who was arriving at the end of
When's the last time England won the World Cup?
1966.
There was a guy on Twitter Spaces. I checked it out after the World Cup, after Argentina won, and he was talking shit about England, and I think he was Jamaican.
Right.
but he hated England. And I don't know why he hated England so much, but he hated England so much. And he just said, like, the passion with which this man spoke was incredible to me. He was like, "You guys are losers. You have always lost. You will always lose. It's like what you are doing generation after generation. Losing. You're
you know
losers.
why?
And you do
I'll
exactly what I think you're gonna do is lose." And I was just like, I was listening to this guy, and sorry for my horrible accent. I was just like, I wish I can get this passionate about anything. This guy is
once
so
you're in the
passionate
game,
about
and
how
once
much
you
he
choose
hates
a side,
England. You know? Yeah.
Once you're in the game, once you're in the side, believe me, the passion will just ooze out of you. There's no passion like soccer passion. Believe me, everybody's a casual when it comes to football. When it comes to the real football, and I'm glad you say football. I'm glad you say that. I hate when these people say soccer. It's like, oh my god, it grates my insides. It's just like it's like fingernails on a chalkboard.
Have you seen the Nate Bargatze SNL skit in which he explains American yards and meters and all that stuff? You haven't seen it?
No, I haven't. Nor do I want to.
Okay, you don't, because you don't like Nate Bargatze?
No, Nate's okay. Nate's all right.
Okay. Well, the skit is incredible, regardless of how you feel about Nate, his comedy or his politics.
I'll check it out.
It's incredible, and it talks, and he's basically talking about the absurdity of measurements in America.
Okay.
And so he's like, I guess he's supposed to be one of the founding fathers in this skit. And so he's like, we're gonna.
Okay. Oh, I think I remember. It's
we're gonna create a country,
skit, right?
Yeah, he's like, we're gonna create a country, and he's like, we're not gonna use meters, we're gonna use yards. And it's like somebody says, how many yards in a kilometer? He's like, nobody knows, right? And he's like, and we're gonna create a great game, you know, and we're gonna call it football. And he says, okay, well, do you use your foot in your foot in football? He's like, sometimes you do, but mainly it's with your hands. And he's like, well, how do you measure points? He's like, well, sometimes you score 6, sometimes you score 1, sometimes you score 3.
Exactly.
Like, okay, what? Yeah, so
at least Nate gets it. That's cool. At least Nate gets it.
I mean, my only thought after watching that skit was, I hope someone shows this to Antonio Davis.
Oh, please. Oh my god.
And Thaddeus Young.
Yeah,
the two least metric friendly Raptors in Raptors history, and Rudy Gay, just because he hated box scores. So I assume he hates the metric system as well.
You know.
Yeah.
I knew what to do.
Yeah. All right, Elliot. Thanks a lot for calling in, man. Appreciate you.
All right, man. And listen, let me one more thing. Alan Graves is the truth.
Agreed. Future MVP.
He's the truth. I watched him highlights tonight. He is the truth.
How many MVPs? How many MVPs will he win?
I would say he'll win MVP, but he may win a 6-man award if given the opportunity. I'm dead serious. He's.
We're done. You're not aiming high enough. 6 MVPs or bust. All right. I'll talk to you later. Man. Peace. All right. Thanks a lot to Elliot for calling in. Appreciate that. Much needed lightness after the complete crash out on Phoenix Plays Ed, which I'm sure someone is going to say, see, I knew that Penn, you know, or Rob, depending on how you know me, either you know me through PC or you know me through this channel. I knew that Rob couldn't stop from crashing out. Man, I've had a day. Okay. I've had a day. Haven't slept super well. And that guy was talking shit about my GOAT, Michael Jordan. Can't be letting people talk shit about Michael Jordan like that. I mean, you know, a lot of people are like, man, you've transformed so much. Do you know what else has transformed while I have supposedly transformed? The online discourse about Scotty Barnes is finally not pissing me off. Maybe all of this so-called growth that I've gone through is just because Scotty had a great playoff series and no one's talking shit about him anymore. Do you ever think that? Like, maybe if someone comes in here and is just like, you know, Scotty or Denny Avdia or Jalen Duren, maybe you're going to see me crash out again. Do you see what I mean? Like, I think you have to view this from my perspective too. I'm not saying have empathy for a crash out. I'm just saying, if you view it from my perspective, I've had to listen to people put Scotty Barnes in like Karis LeVert and fucking Franz Wagner conversations. Okay. So for me, that shit is fucking crazy. It's almost as crazy as someone trying to tell me that Michael Jordan is not the GOAT. So yeah. You should unban Phoenix just so you can ban him again and again. That would be diabolical. Well, I said something on the panel today that I think holds true. And what I said was, as you grow older, you probably want a little less drama, right? You just want a little less drama. I am not for the drama. I am also not for censorship, Grady Dick, whatever, P1Z. Perma banning people for disagreeing is fascism. No, it's not. Your generation is washed. Okay, look, first of all, I don't ban people for disagreeing. There's plenty of people in this chat who think LeBron James is the GOAT. I don't think LeBron's the GOAT. So am I going to ban everyone who thinks LeBron's the GOAT? No, absolutely not. There you go. Smelly Garage Fluids thinks Wilt Chamberlain is the GOAT. Am I banning Smelly? No, because like we can all have an opinion about who the greatest player of all time is. I personally have Arvydas Sabonis as a top 25 player of all time, and believe me, it's higher than 25. People think I'm insane for that, and I agree. I think that's a pretty crazy take, so I'll live with it. But nobody is going to tell me about who Arvydas Sabonis is without actually watching him play. Like, you have to actually watch him play to have a critical discussion with me. And I think the problem that I have with certain disagreements is they come from an elevated state where one person has done the work and another person hasn't done the work, and that just pisses me off. Like, straight up, if you want to disagree with me about my analysis of Netflix future as a stock, you're going to have to put in at least half the work I did to get there. Otherwise, I don't want to talk to you. And that's just kind of what I'm going to tell you the truth. That's where I am at. That's where I'm at, and the cool thing, and I want to tell you, like, over the past couple of weeks, I've met a lot of YouTubers and scheduled online meetings and stuff. And a lot of them feel this way, but I feel like a lot of them won't say this out loud, right? They think the general opinions on Twitter and X are crazy and uneducated and really dumb. And as long as you know that your opinion is really uneducated and really dumb, it's okay to have one. That's totally wild and out there. Like, Allen Iverson's the greatest player of all time. Cool. Have you at least watched the other people in this conversation? Have you watched like 12 to 15 games of Jerry West? Have you watched 10 to 15 games of Magic and Bird? Have you watched at least 20 to 30 games of Michael Jordan, LeBron James to come to that conclusion about Allen Iverson? No, I didn't do that. I watched highlights of those guys, but I watched the full game, every single game of Allen Iverson. I will give you the end result to this conclusion because I do believe in the Zeigarnik effect, and I do believe that I opened a loop about 2 hours ago, and I want to close it for you right here. Do you know why most people believe that their generation witnessed the GOAT? Do you know why almost every single generation tears down the past generation's GOAT? I should probably think LeBron's the GOAT. When I got super serious about basketball, I started watching LeBron James a lot. I should probably think Vince or Kobe are the GOAT because those are the players I most idolized growing up. Ray Allen, Rasheed Wallace. These were my favorite players. Michael Jordan, I was a child. I had to go back and watch a lot of those games like with a more serious critical lens because I barely knew what I was watching when I first started watching Michael Jordan. So the reality is I'm 38 years old. LeBron's just a little bit older than I am now. He's like 2-3 years older than me. I've watched him since he was 15, 16 years old. That's basically my whole like past puberty life. I've been watching LeBron James, and I'm telling you, he's not better than Michael Jordan. So there's a reason for this, and I'm going to tell you the reason. And it's the same reason that I'm not going to sit up here and disparage Magic Johnson or Larry Bird, because I think about basketball very differently. I think about basketball from a position of like space, angles, winning, composure, contributions to the game. It's another reason why you've never heard me disrespect Bill Russell, and I'm never going to. You're never going to hear me say like, but did you see what he shot from the field? Who fucking cares what he shot from the field, dude? Who cares how many teams played when he was playing? I don't care about any of that. And it's the same thing with Wilt Chamberlain. I have a lot of respect for Wilt Chamberlain. I personally think like, maybe there was like a different way that he could have played that probably would have maximized him a little bit more, and he never really found it because he wasn't interested in that. But I've watched enough Wilt Chamberlain at this point to have a pretty decent grasp on who he was as a basketball player. I don't think I've watched anything close to what my grandfather and my father had watched, even close. Like, my uncle watched Wilt Chamberlain live. I cannot have a debate with that man about who Wilt Chamberlain was. He saw him. It's hard. So the reason that most people believe that their generation is witnessing the GOAT is because it's just a very comforting thought to know that you didn't miss the greatness. There's a reason people who like really boost up Messi have a feeling or some sort of feeling about Ronaldinho or Pele or Pirlo, or I don't know why I'm putting Andre Pirlo in this conversation, but Maradona, like, there's a reason, because it's a depressing idea that you were born in 1997 and the greatest player of all time was born in 1940. It's depressing. You don't want to live in a world where that's true. No. The most comforting thought is I saw the best, right? I saw the best of times. This is also the stupidest thought, by the way. The odds that you and the greatest player of all time and that your primes matched. Michael Jordan is north of 60. I am south of 40. Michael Jordan is not my generation. So just let's be clear. Michael Jordan is more Chill's generation. Chill's in his 50s. Michael's not my generation. Kobe's my generation. So before anyone accuses me of being 55 years old, I was born in 87. So what I'm saying is, I think it's just foolish to assume that the GOAT was your generation just because it was your generation. I think you have to absolutely consider that that didn't work out that way for you. Now, it just so happened Gretzky was a little bit before my time, right? So I missed that. Um, I can say I watched a lot of Tom Brady's prime, so that's good. Djokovic, very much witnessed a lot of his prime, so that's good. Tiger Woods, a little bit older, so I missed a little bit of his prime, but I did get to watch a lot of it. Um, Obviously, Leo Messi and I born the same year, 87, so very fortunate there. But clearly, like, Alex Del Piero was on his way out as I was entering my 20s. So I missed a great deal of that. My dad had a greater appreciation for Alex Del Piero and Gigi Buffon in their prime than I ever did. Right. And it's the same thing with, some of the Yugoslavian greats and some of the European greats, like Sabonis, like Vlade. Like, these guys are so much older. Dražan Petrovic. Like, these guys are so before my time that I have to, like, go back and study tape. Like, Vlade was very much towards the tail end of his career when I seriously started to watch basketball. He was almost in his 30s already, right? So for me, it's like I missed that critical window between 1980 and 1986 that a lot of my cousins got to see, and they had a very different appreciation of who Vlade Divac became as a player and different memories of how good Arvydas Sabonis was. And I can only listen to the stories. I can only try and watch, the film that I can find. But again, Arvydas, Bill Russell, some of the greatest players of all time. Michael, Magic, Larry, Kareem, some of the greatest of all time. Wilt, Jerry, some of the greatest of all time. But also Kobe, Kevin Durant, Michael Jordan, LeBron, Scotty Barnes. Just kidding. Shaq, some of the greatest of all time, right? It will continue this way. And maybe one day we talk about Victor Wembanyama, Scotty Barnes, maybe, right? Anthony Edwards in this conversation as well. It would be great. Cooper Flagg, Dylan Harper. There are some guys in this league that have a chance to chase that level of immortality and legacy. But all I'm saying is, don't just assume that because you watched one thing and didn't watch another thing, that the thing you watched is automatically better because you want it to be better. It probably isn't. It probably isn't. I watched so much more Crosby and so much more Ovechkin than I did Gretzky. And yet I know Gretzky's better. My favorite hockey player. Does anyone want to guess my favorite hockey player coming up? I'll be very curious. There's two players that are my favorite hockey players. And in fact, I'll e-transfer you guys $5 if you can guess. I will sit here for 2 minutes as people cycle through their guesses for my favorite hockey player. And if you get it, I will e-transfer you $5. I promise. There's two. I'll give you a hint. One played for a Canadian team. Nope. 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 Mario Lemieux? No. Yes, you guessed one. Okay. Ashley, send me an email. I will send you an e-transfer. That's one. There's a second one as well. Yes, this is one, but Ashley already guessed it. Jaromir Jagr. Nope and nope. No one's guessing the other one. Ray Bork. Nope. Jagr, you already guessed. Who is Jagger? It's Jaromir Jagr. So I think that. Okay, you know what? Ashley, unfortunately, misspelling Jaromir Jagr's name. I think that's fair. I think Teacher Mike should get the e-transfer because he spelled it correctly. Although it feels wrong because I know what you were saying, but yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I mean, I knew that you were saying Jaromir Jagr, but the fact that you did not get his last name correct. Yeah. Okay, Teacher Mike, you get the e-transfer. It was not Mick Jagger. Sorry. Okay. Does anyone have the second one? Manute Bol. Man, you suck. Alfredson. Okay, I'm just going to tell you the second one. It was Jerome McGinley. Jerome McGinley was my second favorite player. So it was Jaromir Jagr, Jerome McGinley. Is there a third? I did like Ty Domi. But yeah, it was Iginla. Calgary Flames, baby. Yeah. Yikes, bro. Milan Lucic. Nope. Gretzky is a good guess. Gretzky is a good guess. Mario Lemieux. Mario Lemieux was one of my favorite players. Yes. Yes. You know, it's interesting. Like, most people think I hate hockey. I do not hate hockey. I've actually, like, long made it a personal goal to find a way to love hockey. The problem is I was so notoriously bad at hockey that it makes my soccer skills look like a superpower. I can't skate. Have I ever admitted that on air before? I don't know how to skate, bro. No skating. The last time I skated, it was in Boston. It was a grade 3 class trip. And one of the girls who volunteered to take all the grade 3s was in grade 8. Of course, she was the most beautiful girl in the world at the time to me. And I fell right on my face. And she watched. And then she came over to me and she said, "Are you okay?" And I was lying there on my face saying, "Please kill me now." Okay. I've been traumatized to ever skate since that moment. I've been carrying this moment of shame with me my whole life. Ball hockey, dude. Yeah. This guy doesn't know Manute Ball played hockey casual. He doesn't know ice. I didn't claim to know ice, and I don't think Manute Ball played hockey at any competitive level because he was 7'7". But a fun story is I've actually seen Manute Ball in person. He was the first basketball player that I ever saw in person at Atlantic City when I was 5 years old. And it's the weirdest story ever, and I will never forget it. But my mom is about 5'2". Manute Ball is about 7'6", 7'7". It was the craziest thing I've ever seen. I thought he was out of like a movie. But yeah, I did not know Manute Bol played hockey. I don't think he played hockey. I think you're trolling, but if you aren't trolling, I mean, whatever. I don't know. Someone said Carey Price. I don't know who that is. Who's Carey Price? I know zero about ice hockey except Gretzky. 7'7" NBA veteran Manute Bol briefly joined the Indianapolis Ice of the Central Hockey League. I'm sorry, I didn't know this, and I apologize. That's huge on Manute Bol. Damn, you don't know Price, Pen. I do not know Price. Who is Price? Put me on game. I do know PK Subban. Yes, I do. I said Subban, but I remember a lot of hockey commentators saying Subban. Was it Subban? I know Ty Domi. I know Bobby Hall. Yep. I know Patrick Waugh. Yep. I do know Patrick Waugh. He's cool. See, that's the true test of Canadiana. That should have been on my Canadian citizenship test. Is it Patrick Roy or Patrick Waugh? Tell us, man. No. Am I earning? Am I now finally pulling in the hockey crowd? Am I finally, like, have I finally broken the ice with Canada? Like, am I no longer like the American masquerading as a Canadian living in Canada for the last 25 years? Am I officially Canadian now that I know just this much about hockey? I mean, I guess it doesn't help that Jaromir Jagr was one of my favorite players growing up, right? Maybe that didn't help. Your favorite player was a Czech guy, Canadian Fugazi bullshit, right? Maybe if my favorite player was, yes, you're Canadian now. Okay, hang on. I'm gonna try to pull this up. I'm gonna have to pull myself off. This is my favorite commercial, and I saw this when I came to Canada, and it's pretty bizarre. Hang on one sec. I got it. Now, I do not know why this isn't. It doesn't work. For whatever reason, my anytime there's something wrong with my computer for sure. Because I'm trying to pull this shit up and it does not work. Dude. What the hell? Like, it's a great commercial. It's one of my favorite commercials. Anyways, whatever. You guys know it. Google, if you want to watch it, YouTube, Welcome Home Tim Hortons. It was like one of my favorite commercials. It kind of reminded me of like my lovely immigrant story. I think a lot of immigrants that resonates with a lot of immigrants. The father comes first, gets a job, then the wife and kid come over. Um, that was kind of how moving to Canada came for us as well. But like my dad secured a job first. We all came over together, but it was interesting. PK Subban family and mine are friends. Talk to him every summer. Oh, that's dope. I do remember that. Okay. Anyways, I'm out of here, guys. Sorry about the stalling. Hope it wasn't too choppy. I'm going to figure this out at some point. I think it might be Chrome. There might have been a Chrome update that's made Chrome incompatible with my computer because I was freezing today on the panel as well. I'm basically at a point right now where if I share a screen, I lag. Any screen. It doesn't matter what screen. It doesn't matter what's on the screen. It could be a video. If it's a video, so help me God. StreamYard and basically any streaming of any video does not work. While Elliot and I were talking, I was trying to pull up a Ronaldinho like mix so that people could understand the player I was talking about. Couldn't do it. It was chopping like crazy. Drivers might need to be updated. Maybe that's it. Or maybe I need a new computer. And you know what? Yeah, I think I need a new computer. Yeah. All right. Talk to y'all later. Have a great night. It's almost 2 a.m. Peace. I will be on the panel tomorrow, second half of the show. So catch you guys then. Oh, I have definitely watched him play. Yeah. Rob, delete Chrome and all Google apps on an old Mac activity monitor. So delete Chrome and all Google apps. I'll look this up. I'll figure this out by tomorrow. Peace, guys. I'm a good problem solver. If you give me like 2 hours to solve the problem, I usually figure it out. Peace, y'all. Dope hockey talk, dope soccer talk, dope basketball talk. Great game for Al Graves. Great game from Nate Biddle. Shout outs, man. Peace.